everyone. Welcome to blade&soul Korea Season Finals. My name is Joe Sophie. Along with me is Ending Life as always. We're starting on with Day 2 today. We had Day 1 yesterday covering Group A portion of the Challengers teams where we saw the 8 teams facing off. But with the 4 teams being in Group A, we saw that GFAM, as expected, they were the top seed going into the next round. But one of the shockers yesterday was one of that team, Chobo. It was a very surprising moment for us because we saw, especially that Yongjin Shen guy. He was it was a really surprise for us because we know we are always expecting a lot of surprises from these rookie teams, and getting a good variant of what we can see from today as well. We're gonna see a bunch of rookie teams today, but how do you see the days falling out today?
Well, today is interesting because it's kind of mixed, a little bit more mixed compared to yesterday. We had 3 rookie teams as you mentioned, but today we have 2 rookie teams and 2 teams that has been participating in the tournaments, G Touring and Oh Yeah. And we have 2 rookie teams, Triple J and Full Swing. But within the rookie teams, there are a couple of players that's been participating in the tournaments, and even the team that we'll talk about that later, but one team with full of rookies, they've still been participating in all of the preliminaries. They just haven't been able to make it up to the group stages. So even though they are rookies, they're rookies to the live stage. But to the tournament format, to the fighting, to the game, they're definitely not rookies. They've been keeping up to date.
And you gotta stay tuned for that because we're gonna be introducing these teams one by one. Before we do that, let's get to the schedules first. We're currently in the challenger stage of the tournament where the 8 teams, the 8 bottom teams, that's including the teams that participated in Season 1 and Season 2 with the least fighting points and also the rookie teams as well. They're going to be facing off to see who's going to be the top seed of those groups, and they're going to be going up to face the 4 champions teams, the ones with the most fighting points from Season 1 and Season 2 accumulated. They're going to be going up against those teams once the top seeds are decided. But here we go with the overview of the prize and privilege. This is going to be very important to place your spot in the World Championship, which is going to be the next tournament having right after this Korea final. It's going to be happening in Korea as well, but getting first and second will be a very good thing for these guys.
Look at those zeros, 50 million won. Like I always love saying that, 50 million. Like they get 50 million.
50 million.
Not dollars though.
Hey, 50. You guys want to calculate the $1 to dollar currency. It's 1,001 to $1 US, so that's going to be about $50,000 approximately. So that's kind of you can calculate, but it's still a lot of money. I would like to have that kind of money, but regardless of that, I think the players will be more focused on those fighting points and your placement on the World Championship. But before we do that, we're going to be introducing the format for today's games. It's going to be mostly best of 4 for the first few stages, and the one that decides the number 1 seed and number 2 seed will be the best of 7. So that's going to be happening near the end of our broadcast for today. But you see the teams that are listed for the champion stage and also for the challenger stage. We have 4 teams along the champion stage. Teams which is GC Busan Blue, Kudeta, IDEPS, and GC Busan Red, respectively in that order. And Season 1 and Season 2, you know that GC Busan Blue were the champions of both seasons. They swept everyone there. They have 2,000 fighting points comfortably in that spot. Not really worried about their spot in the World Championship. Most likely going to do that. But Challenger stage is where things get interesting because that's going to be what we're covering today. And we have GFAM, G Touring, Oh Yeah, Triple J and Chobo, No Name, Superman and Full Swing, and the bottom 5 teams in the bracket that we just mentioned are those rookie teams that we haven't seen before. We saw 3 of those yesterday, and we're going to be seeing just 2 more today. But we're going to see how these teams are going to be facing off today.
Yeah, and other than GFAM, we have Oh Yeah and G Touring at the top of the Challenger stage, which teams that are going to be playing today. They're actually facing off each other, and for Triple J and Full Swing, I guess it's a better seeding for them, bracket for them, rather than playing Oh Yeah or G Touring, who have more experience in the tournament. And Triple J and Full Swing, the 2 rookie teams for our first match. I'm very excited to see which one is going to be kind of like the Chobo team from yesterday, who's going to show some super plays.
We're always in the waiting for the good rookie teams to show up, especially the superstar players potentially that we're going to be waiting for. But it's a good point that you mentioned because facing off against the pro teams is a lot of pressure to these guys because we talk to these players and they always talk about the difference between facing players online and facing the same format tournament, but that experience that these pro players have in the offline stage does go a long way for these guys. And you know, for these rookie players, trying to face off against these pro players, it's a lot of difficulty that they have to overcome. So those are the things that we're going to be watching through, but at least for the first match, it's going to be two rookie teams facing off each other.
Yeah, I'm glad that it is the two rookie teams, and right now on screen we're seeing the events. Now we just decided not to mention them because unfortunately for non-Korean server players or users, you can't redeem the secret code prizes. So I don't want to make you guys feel bad, and I've been telling you guys this from last year, so yeah, I'm done with this.
It's an ongoing lecture for sure, because we always talk about how these events are not applicable for the Western servers with NA and EU. So if you want to participate in these events, you just have to come to the Korean server, and that's kind of how you can participate.
Yeah, and I just want to since we're almost done and we're gonna be going into the team VCR soon. Before that, I just want to talk about how OGN and NC Soft decided to change the best out of 7 rules, just in case you guys didn't catch it yesterday. When it becomes a 3-point to 3-point tie, we're gonna get rid of the game 6 and just go with game 7, which is worth 3 points, to just get rid of the useless game 6 when it's tied. So I'm glad they did that.
And you guys saw from last seasons that when we did play the game 2, we tried to try to say how it was important when you gained the momentum. But we all realized that game 6 was more or less meaningless in the actual result of the series. So now we're glad to say that game 6 will be skipped if it is a 3-3 tie. We saw that actually yesterday happen between the two teams. So if it does happen again, you'll know that game 6 won't be applicable, and we'll jump straight onto game 7 to decide the winner of that series.
Yeah, and we'll mention that for you guys if that happens again, just in case for viewers that come in a little bit late and they're like, oh, is the system fixed? Yes, it is fixed, and we'll talk about that later if that happens again. But the VCR doesn't seem like it's coming out yet.
But friendly reminders are always there for us, so you guys always can count on us to give you always the friendly reminders if you want to. But let's go and move to the VCR.
안녕하세요. 저희는 트리플 J 팀의 암살자 이주한,
기공사 정혜강,
검사 이재주입니다. 맨날 예선 나왔다가 선수들 팀 만나고 막 그래서 다 떨어졌었거든요. 그래서 이제 이번에는 준비 좀 많이 해서 나오게 됐어요. 전 시즌 심판을 했었는데 막 덥다고 에어컨 꺼달라 켜달라 하는 심판들한테 무리한 부탁을 하는 사람들이 있어요. 그런 것도 안 하려고 저희가
정의구현하러 왔다.
그렇지. 영훈아 에어컨 켜달라 꺼달라 하지 말고 그냥 패딩 입고 와라.
목표는 8강 이상으로 가는 게 목표입니다.
저희 팀의 약점은 검사 이재준 선수가 좀 약점이라고 생각이 돼요. 그냥 약한 것 같아요. 그 누구보다 그냥 약한 것 같아요. 재준이가 실력이 많이 나아지면 저희가 할 수 있는 게 많아져요. 근데 재준이가 좀 저랑 성향이 좀 비슷한 것도 있고, 둘 다 욕심을 놓으면은 충분히 해낼 수 있는 팀인데 둘 다 욕심이 많아서 그걸 놓지를 못하네요.
제가 너무 즐겁게 게임을 해서 뭐 터지는 경우가 있어서 그런 것 같아요.
열심히 해서 한번 올라갈 수 있을 때까지 올라가 보겠습니다.
이번 대회에서 저는 암살자를 한번 잡아보도록 노력하겠습니다.
저희가 비록 좀 약팀이지만 복권 긁는 느낌으로 한번 터뜨려 보겠습니다.
너만 잘하면 돼.
오케이.
안녕하세요. 풀스윙팀의 주술사를 플레이하고 있는 최병태,
링문사를 플레이하고 있는 박동순, 기공사를 하고 있는 안혁기입니다.
풀스윙이라는 의미는 제가 일단 크게 활약한다는 의미로 이렇게 지었거든요. 제 아이디어입니다. 안혁기 선수는 저희 이제 간투분파 팀이어서 같이 팀을 하게 됐고, 동준이 같은 경우에는 태그 매치를 온라인을 하면서 지속적으로 좀 같이 했던 그런 선수여서 같이 참여하게 됐습니다.
저는 일단 개인전은 괜찮은데 이제 태그가 많이 연습할 시간이 없었거든요. 연습을 30분 30분 했고, 그 다음날 예선을 치르러 왔는데 예선 결과는 뭐 연습한 거에 비해서는 잘했어요. 저희 팀이 만들어진 계기가 예선만 참가해서 즐거운 게임하고 오자, 그냥 그 경험하고 오자, 그 취지였는데 생각보다 성적이 잘 나와서 만족스러웠어요.
라이벌 팀은 현재 예선에 조 1위로 제일 먼저 출전한 트리플 J 팀이고요. 그 팀에 있는 기공사 이제 같은 문파원인데 제일 먼저 떨어뜨리고 싶어서 가장 라이벌로 이렇게 정했습니다.
목표는 예선 통과이었는데 이제 이뤘으니까 최대한 열심히 노력해서 하는 만큼 보여드리겠습니다.
저는 이제 블소토너먼트 이제 보시는 유저들한테 재밌는 경기를 좀 보여드리고 싶고 비무제가 좀 활성화될 수 있는 그런 계기가 되었으면 좋겠습니다.
제가 열심히 해야 될 것 같고요. 개인 기량을 많이 올려서 이번 대회에서 좋은 결과 얻을 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
Really good at these guys for these rookie teams to really make a statement because I'm sure, you know, with everybody here, they all know that they kind of came in with a humble mindset that they're just going to go through the prelims and hopefully see what best comes up. But, you know, now they are in the main events. Now they can actually try to go for that further spot and hopefully make it to the top 2 and make it to the World Championship. You never know.
Yeah, and look, on screen right now we have Triple J, and the classes they selected are just single classes, kind of similar to GFAM. We only have a Blade Master, an Assassin, and a Force Master. That's it. They've only registered one class per person, and we rarely see that. We only saw that from GFAM.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is another team to look out for, I guess.
Fairly non-meta as well with the classes they picked, the Blade Master and also the Force Master. Not the most meta picks that we've seen. And you talk about Force Masters though, we have a lot of Force Masters in the challenging teams. You know, the only good examples that you mentioned yesterday as were Jung Ho-yoon and Jason Lee, you know, from back then. You know, we've seen wonderful examples of Force Master and now what they're capable, and we also saw bad examples of that yesterday with the rookie Force Master trying to do the same thing. But replicating such legends is a difficult thing. But you hear the cheer from the crowd, and that really indicates some familiar faces from Full Swing as well. Full Swing is a relatively newly formed team, but some of these faces will be familiar to you guys.
Yeah, and we have here, we don't have that many classes either, but they at least registered 2 per person. And I hope we finally get to see a Warlock today, because right now on Full Swing, there was a Warlock registered. And yesterday, throughout the 3 games, we didn't see a single Warlock yesterday.
And hey, if you guys are still confused about the meta, current meta, as according to the players, Warlock is still meta. It just happened to be a coincidence that nobody played Warlock all day yesterday, but the Warlock will still be intact for the current meta for a temporary time. So now, but we want to talk about actually the players, some from Full Swing that we've seen in the past before. Hyuk-yeon, I remember most recently in Season 2 playing with one of the teams, and we don't remember too much about him considering, you know, the performance that he has put out. So, you know, whether he has evolved to a different type of format where he can actually be a dominating force, we have to see about that. But also, you know, another player from Full Swing that you would like to introduce.
Yeah, Byung-tae Che, the guy that was in the middle looking like the team captain. He also participated in Season 1 as well. He didn't do bad, but he wasn't too good. Like, he didn't make it up too far, but he didn't get knocked out like early games. So yeah, Byung-tae Che and Hyuk-yeon, as you mentioned, these are the 2 players that have experience on the offline scene. So we have to watch out for their plays. And as we just talked about Hyuk-yeon, he is first out for the first match.
So the experienced player with Hyuk-yeon coming out for Full Swing, along with Haegang Jung coming in for Triple J as well. They're going to be playing the Force Master, so there's going to be Force Master mirror match on this time around. So we're going to see we're going to see either the good Force Masters or we're going to see the rookie Force Master that we saw yesterday. So hopefully we get the previous version of that. So hoping for a good match, but like I said, you know, these experiences, like you mentioned, from Hyuk-yeon and also Byung-tae Che as well, this experiences on the offline tournaments does go a long way because their experience in these tournaments can be valuable in how the matches fall out. But we're going to see how those experiences actually fall off as Hyuk-yeon from Full Swing go up against Haegang Jung in the first match between Triple J and Full Swing. Let's get it on. First match will be versus the non-experienced player versus a semi-experienced player with Hyuk-An. But they're both on the Force Master, and we're gonna see what statement these players are gonna make. They have your Hyuk-An has your favorite Dino helmet, so that already clinches in the victory supposedly.
Yep, and unfortunately, Haegang Jung started off with the Glacial Beam landing, forcing Hyuk-An to get into the ice.
There he goes with the Phantom Grip and tries to get Hyuk-An, tries to make something of it. He does escape. Haegang Jung does escape with a tab escape. So another Phantom Grip trying to be attempted.
Yeah, it's the Force Master a mirror. So Haegang Jung, when we say Haegang Jung, he's the blue one. Hyuk-Ki is the red one.
Yeah, Hyuk-An is on the Dino helmet. Also for clarification, you can look at the Dino helmet to see which side they're on. But Hyuk-An getting the better of these trades so far, doing the damage onto Haegang Jung. Whereas Haegang Jung trying to put an answering strike, but not getting much of it yet. Haegang Jung has to look for more opportunities to make this work out, because the Force Master mirror matches are all about the single opportunity that you can put out the extreme amount of damage, because that's going to be what both players are counting on.
They both have their tab escape. Hyuk-An is going to get back his backstab escape as well very soon.
Hyuk-An does heal some of his health back while putting some damage onto Haegang Jung continuously, but both having the escape back. Oh, actually, Haegang Jung just forced to use his escape right away, so Haegang Jung with the stun, he's going to be stunned up, but he can't escape from it. So Hyuk-An has to look for these opportunities to put in the damage, and he's getting the better part of these trades, definitely, from Haegang Jung. Hyuk-An is getting the better trade out of this, but we're going to see how this actually transpires. You have 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the match. Gets him into the grapple, into the Phantom Grip. And Haegang Jung will be knocked up into the aerial. We can do something about that.
Okay, Haegang still does have his backstep escape, Ice Burst. Okay, in the air. He grabbed him in the air during the Ice Burst. Okay, you don't want that unless you're going to be 100% to freeze your opponent.
Yeah, they get stunned up, but there's nothing to it because he does just escape from it. And Hyuk-An doing the continuous thing from the beginning of the match to the end of the match. He's putting continuous damage without taking too much damage back.
Get some heals right there by Hyuk-An. Basically, they're just trading off their tab escapes and backstab escapes, but overall, Hyuk-An is obviously getting the better of it.
Yeah, and the healing does come from both sides, but seemingly it seems like Hyuk-An does get the damage output advantage between the two sides, and 27 seconds is all they have before TKO is confirmed.
This is not looking good!
The Meteor does come in.
Oh, Hyuk-An continues that with the Ice Burst and freezes it. So see, if you're able to freeze him like that, it's good. But if you're not gonna land that, you're gonna get into an aerial, a free aerial.
And that's why Haegang Jung should have been a little more careful. If you're going to put that meteor damage on, you had to be a little more decisive in the opportunity that you use it. But it seems like it's going to go to TKO. Oh! Actually, it's going to end right after.
Hyuk-An landing the last move.
Wow.
The last couple moves, including the Infernal. And, you know, that's just going to...
I'm sure
it's a Force Master mirrors.
Yeah, but you see on the face of Haegang Jung, he was probably just waiting for the TKO to happen. Yeah. Let's just see how the numbers fall out. But he was just kind of a little more defenseless. A sitting duck if you can, perhaps. But like, that's just good enough for Hyuk-An to finish up the first match in a TK, not a TKO, I'm sorry, but a KO as well. So, full swing, 1-0 up for these guys, and we have to see the replay of how this transpired, but it was mostly trade damage.
Yeah, they were trading, and at one point, Hyuk-An was able to pull out or make Haegang Jung, the blue side Force Master, use both of his escape, and he took a little bit, he capitalized on that, and he got that advantage,
This was a crucial play where he could have taken so much damage. Might have been enough damage to nearly knock him out, but Hyuk-An does a good job of staying in the air and negating most of that damage, which gave him the opportunity to finish him off right here, as you see.
Yeah, and if you noticed, while he was doing the Ice Burst in the air, the Meteor Storm was coming down from above him. I don't know how that didn't hit.
Hey, you know, we're going to talk about interactions of Blade and Soul. We have to complain with the actual game developers, but just so regardless of the rules, we know that the Meteor doesn't hit you unless you're on the ground.
Yeah, of course.
So we all know that part. So Triple J not getting the result they wanted in the first match. They probably wanted a win to start them off, but this being the best of 4 though, every point is important, and this first singles is going to be a big momentum shift over to full swing. They're going to feel much better about their situation than Triple J is, and in the second match will show us whether who can take that momentum back. And Juan Lee is going to be on the Assassin, though probably the only meta pick in the team. And he's going to be trying to carry his team back into even against Byung Tae, as you mentioned, another experienced player from full swing. And We're going to see how the experience matches up against the non-experienced rookie. This time around, first example of that where Hyuk-yeon did win against the non-experienced players. So we're going to see if this is going to be a repeat performance of that experience and how valuable that actually is in the tournament. But we're going to see how this second match turns out.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that because Byung-tae also plays a Force Master, but they have a Force Master on their team.
Yeah.
So he practiced the Warlock a lot. That's why he is bringing out the Warlock this time around. So we'll have to see how well he is prepared, even though he is the little more experienced player. And let's get ready to get into the second set. Let's get it on!
Here we go for the second match between Triple J and Full Swing. We got Juan Lee on the Assassin facing off against Byung-tae on Full Swing, playing the Warlock. Now, Full Swing, obviously we can see they're trying to be a little bit meta-focused in their composition. So the Warlock, the first showing actually in this entire blade&soul Korea season finals. And so we get to see the first glimpse of what a Warlock is in the current meta. According to the players, it's still very strong and is very much a meta pick. So we have to see how this actually turns out.
Assassin's doing some work, doing damage on the familiar as well as the Warlock. The Warlock puts down the Sanctum, does his time distortion. Because he took so much damage, he is kind of desperate now because he wasn't able to do anything while the Thrall or the Familiar was out.
So it only took 30 seconds for Juhan Lee on the Assassin to put a lot of damage onto Byung-tae, forcing him to use a time distortion to try to get some of that health back. Now Juhan Lee is forced out of his tab escape, and he does get the Familiar back with the Warlock. Byung-tae trying to do something with it.
Yeah, it's not looking good though, because the Assassin's out of his leap and his stealth.
Yes.
So, you know, as long as the Warlock gets that aerial,
the stun coming in from the Assassin, but the Familiar gets him up into the air. This is going to be a chance for the Warlock to put in a lot of damage. This is his chance. But Juhan Lee doing a spectacular job of countering that damage with his damage as well. Now puts him into the air, into the damage, and this is going to be good enough webbing, trying to get some damage. He does put the damage onto the Familiar with the time that he has, and now he gets his stealth back, so the escapes are back for Juhan Lee.
Yeah, the Assassin getting both his escapes back. Not looking good for the Warlock. He has to stay in that Sanctum. He doesn't want to get out. He doesn't want to get targeted. He wants to be safe in there within that area, and the Familiar is back out. So now it's time to land that CC.
And that is definitely the safe zone for the Warlock with Byung-tae, staying around that Sanctum, trying to put some damage in, but the landmine does connect this time with the Poison Breath, trying to put in. So Juhan Lee doing a good job putting into the stun, into the aerial, and that's putting enough damage onto the webbing, putting the damage onto the Familiar as well. Kills it off before the cooldown timer runs out. So this is good for Juhan Lee, doing everything right without the escape available.
Yeah, body swap. He killed that. He killed that Familiar off, so he can't. The Warlock can't body swap. So
this is looking very good for Juhan Lee right now. The landmine didn't connect this time around, but Byung-tae, he has to look for desperation now because he is definitely behind in all aspects right now.
Yep. Assassin's out of his escape. He gets it back, but he's going to take full damage right now.
The stun. This is going to be the chance for the Warlock to put it out. The Familiar is out. This is a time distortion. Try to put it back. Actually, the Sanctum does come in. So Juhan Lee, now with the damage advantage that he has, he knows he's going to be winning out in the TKO. If it does happen, he does heal back some of his health.
No.
This is the chance for the Warlock to put it. This is the chance for the Warlock to finish him off. But it doesn't have enough damage to finish him off quite yet.
He tabs out. The Assassin gets his stealth back in. He tabs out right away.
Just in time for the escape to happen. Now 5 seconds is what he has remaining. This is actually going to be much closer than it was a few seconds ago with the damage difference between the two sides. Now, Byung-tae has been behind for most of this part, but Juhan Lee doing the Fnatic part for most of this match is going to be looking to be the winner. We have to see who gets the more damage. The Warlock actually gets the win. The late damage neared it. He's seeing more surprised than we are. So.
I was going with the Assassin because he killed the Familiar.
It's true.
What?
But you know, we have to account for the amount of health that he healed back with the Assassin. There was a lot of damage that he actually healed back with the Assassin's skill. So Warlock putting that near amount of damage near the end, that was actually the difference maker in how he won out in the TKO. Very unfortunate.
I'm not gonna lie. Like even though we know now that Warlock won with in the TKO against an Assassin that did tons of damage to the Familiar and the Warlock. So I'm gonna be honest. I thought the Assassin did more damage overall, even though he ended up with less health at the end, because he did damage to the Warlock and the Familiar every single time it was out. So I was like, you know, it's probably the Assassin, but wow.
But to be fair, we have to talk about that damage to the Familiar. Actually, the second time around, he did kill out the Familiar, but the first time around, it seemed like he put a lot of damage, but it wasn't as much damage as it may have seemed. So that might have a counter to how much damage he put out in the end, but really unfortunate about Juan Lee, who played a spectacular game, and he just played everything to the textbook standards of what he was supposed to do at every situation. But near the end, I think he just lost a little bit of focus and gave a good opportunity for Byung-tae to put in the counterattack and put in a lot of damage as the Warlock is characterized to do.
Yeah, and we saw Byung-tae, the Warlock, he was even surprised that he won. So, yeah, I don't know, but it was a good game.
Yeah.
It was a good game, and it was very good to see a Warlock finally in the Korea finals.
True.
So
welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, Warlock. And now we will be getting ready for set 3, which is tag team match, which is worth 2 points apiece.
And so it's getting 2 points back for Triple J. Will be getting them back to even against Full Swing, and personally, I'm very happy for this match because we know that now Triple J are the team to scoff at because, you know, in the second match, although they did lose out in the singles, we know that this was a very close match to decide upon, and even the first match almost went to TKO, so we never knew what could have happened if it did end like that. So, although the voting from the fans are going majorly to the Full Swing with 92% going their way, but it's too early to count out Triple J yet because the tag match, getting the 2 points for these guys will be a big momentum shift. Getting back to even will be huge for these guys. So this tag match will be the crucial one to watch.
Yep, and Triple J, they all, as I mentioned before, they've only registered 1 class per person. So I'm pretty sure this is their main. And if they're gonna lose, like, it's not looking good for them. Yep. So they have to bring it back through this tag, this third match, to get their momentum back and take it away from Full Swing. If not, then they might just go get swept out.
Yeah, and an extra amount of focus is needed for Triple J because this is going to be do or die for these guys. If they do lose out on this one, the series is essentially over. And we're going to see whether Triple J can bring that little bit of focus onto their play as we move on to the Game 3, the first tag match of the series between Triple J and Full Swing. Let's get the match underway. Let's get it on. Here we are for what potentially could be the decider match between this series with Triple J trying to get some points back against Full Swing, but now we have Juhan Lee, the assassin, who plays spectacularly well on his singles. The first one out against Byung-tae on the Warlock. It's the same matchup we saw in the previous singles.
Yeah, this is best out of 4. Best out of 4, first to 3 points, and Full Swing already has 2. If they win this, it's over for Triple J, so they're gonna want to focus.
So right now, with both sides having already used their tab escape, Byung-tae on the Warlock does use time distortion to get the tab escape back, but this is going to be an advantage over to the Familiar with the Warlock, putting the defense interfere into first use. But Juan Lee, having done so well in the singles, he's going to be looking to do the same. He puts the interfere, trying to get some help from his teammate, trying to put in the more additional damage when he can. But in landmine, it almost connects. But Juan Lee is going to be looking for more opportunity, but this is going to be looking very bad as Hyokyeon eventually puts him into the aerial, trying to put some damage onto him, but the Force Master does seemingly come in place of the Warlock.
Yeah, 1 minute in, and Full Swing is all at full health still.
Yep.
It's not looking good for Triple J, but it's still early on in the game. It's 10 minutes long, so we'll still have to see what Triple J comes back with, and the Force Master is tagged in.
So the tag points used early, they couldn't wait for the early free tags they could have gotten if they held on for a minute more, but both Force Masters are not coming back out, but this is looking bad for for Haegang-jung, who took a lot of damage from the Force Master. Now, the Blade Dancer, Dongjun Park, first seeing from this guy, we're seeing him for the first time today, does make an appearance, and this is actually the aerial onto the this is going to be the Blade Master actually coming out very soon as well. So now Dongjin Park has to look for this damage that he's trying to put out. He's used the lightning draw to put in some damage, but
Dongjin Park just timed that tag out. Like, it wasn't even a forced tag. He tagged out and Dongjin Park went right in to Jaejun Lee, the Blade Master, and he's already at half health, and he just tagged in.
Yeah, Jaejun Lee on the Blade Master has to look for some answer because this is looking very bad for him. He does have all of his escapes along with Dongjin Park as well. So the Blade Master versus the Blade Dancer is always an interesting thing to pick out, but the Blade Master right now currently behind in the amount of damage traded.
By far, and there was offensive interfere, not being able to do anything. Well, there we go with the body swap. So they do take out the Blade Dancer's tab escape.
Yeah, the interfere coming in from both sides, trying to be reactionary to the best of situations, but the lightning draw, putting in a lot of damage, forcing him to tag out, back onto the Force Master. Now Haegang is back out onto the field. It's looking very bad for Triple J, where they really need these 2 points to get them back in this series, but currently it just seems like Full Swing has the right answers to these guys.
Yeah, Full Swing is going all out, forcing Triple J to use their points, interfere points, and tag points. It's not that, you know, Triple J is recklessly using their points. They have to use it to live.
A lot of damage.
So I understand them using it, but I hope Triple J is able to create the opportunity to force Full Swing to do the same thing.
Dongjin Park, he won't be getting the full comp because he will be force tagged out. The free tag will be coming in, and Byung-tae does come in on the Warlock. And this is going to be Haegang chance to put in some damage onto the Warlock. Just freeze himself, trying to negate much of that damage, but the Familiar trying to put some damage onto him as well.
Yeah, the tab escape was used right away when Haegang came in So now he's at a disadvantage again when he was just tagged in.
And Haegang, no matter how much damage is putting upon him, he has to be careful of saving his tag point because that's going to be very crucial near the end when the tag point will be vital. But right now, Haegang not trading much of that damage. The Blade is coming in to clear the lightning draw to put in some damage off of the interfere. Not much coming from it though.
Yeah, Full Swing is definitely showing that they do have the more experienced players on their team, showing how to chase the tags or the interferes, or, you know, like overall gameplay as a team is way better on Full Swing side right now.
Byung-tae just overall doing much better this time around compared to how he played in the singles in the last time around, but the Meteor is actually putting a decent amount of damage onto Byung-tae before he is force tagged out, so he gets a free tag. Was it a use tag or a force tag? I don't know if it was, the timer was very close. But in the end, they do tag out onto Juan Lee, who comes back out on the Assassin, trying to make some work, but let's get into the area. This is going to be bad. The Warlock seemingly having enough damage, just the slimmest of health. Surviving that with the stealth, automatically procced, obviously, because he has to survive on that one, but he puts in the interfere, doesn't have any tag points to use, so he has to survive this as long as he could, but Haegang now back out onto the fuel, also the slimmest of health, but he has no tag points to work with, so he has to somehow survive for the next 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, Juan Lee uses his last tag point to tag out. However, I don't know why Jaejun didn't come in, because he still has that tag point. He should have been up on the second listing to come out.
But the Haegang on the Force Master does heal himself back, forcing out the damage to heal himself back, but Haegang has to look for a lot more because he needs, that's going to be actually enough damage to knock him out straight away, and Jaejun Lee, the only relatively healthy player on the team, is going to be out, taking even more damage as soon as he's come in. The Force Master, along with the Interfere, coming in to put in additional damage, but this is looking very bad. He tags out.
Yeah, he wants to live he wants to be the last one to die, I guess.
But
and Juan is out again with the Assassin.
But Juan Lee coming out with the really just hopeless amount of health that he obviously cannot work with for the next 1 minute and 30 seconds. Dongjin Park has to lose something with the Blade Dancer to knock him off straight away. That's going to be a huge momentum shift over to Full Swing, giving them a lot of advantage and probably clinching them the win right here.
Yeah, and Hyukyeon is basically the only one who took, you know, noticeable damage on Full Swing.
It's looking bad.
It's just overall Full Swing has prepared, or, you know, just showing that they have the experience.
Yeah, the experience does count, and we saw that it counts a lot more than we previously have thought, as the tag match really showed the difference between the two teams, and just the ending it right here would be the end of it all, and Byung-tae with the tag points still available comes back out to the field, but it's trying to be looking for the finish here because with the Familiar is out. With the Sanctum trying to finish him off right here, Juan Lee, no matter what he does, he's going to be having a hard time trying to finish these guys off all by himself. This is looking very bad for Triple J.
He uses his leaf to get away to the other side of
Let's escape
the Octagon. but it's not looking good. It's just basically Triple J is just stalling time.
That's all they can do because 30 seconds is all they have. And even if they are to be, force tagged out onto the next ally, it's gonna be a very little health that they have to work with. This is gonna be
the
very
leech
bad.
lands.
Leech lands, but not enough further. And the poison breath trying to attempt it by Juan Lee. He only has 13 seconds. If he holds up for the next 10 seconds, that's not good enough to put out his efforts onto Jaejun Lee. He's gonna be the last man standing for Triple J, but obviously it's gonna be very difficult for these guys to finish out the game. They have to somehow make it for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but even then the TKO is obviously gonna be going towards full swing, so a lot of hope is lost for this team.
Seokyeon used the ult, slows down, and Jaejun also uses his ult, does some damage, but I'm gonna be honest, there's very little hope, like almost none.
Yeah, I think we want to get excited for this team, but with just a limited amount of resources and a limited amount of manpower they actually have, this is going to be looking very hard for Jaejun Lee, who's eventually going to be knocked off right here as he does with the interfere, coming with the lightning draw from the Blade Dancer. Blue Swing gets the series in a clean 4-0 victory.
Yeah, that was clean, and even though it was a battle between two rookie teams, we obviously saw which team had the better experience, the better players overall, the better team play overall. So yeah, Full Swing, not a good game. I mean, I'm not saying not a good game.
No, not at all.
Full Swing, a good game.
Yes.
Triple J, not so good.
I think the second series, the second game in that series were the singles between Juan Lee when he faced up against Byung Tae Che on the Warlock, another experienced player if you know, but he did pretty well. Good job on the singles on the early parts of the game, trying to finish him off early in the game, but did lose out on the TKO somehow. But I think we have to just give credits to all the experience that this Full Swing has, although it's not as much as obviously the champions teams, the 4 champions teams that are waiting for us, but just a little bit of experience does go a long way. We saw that most prominent in this tag match, as we see here. It just seemed like Full Swing knew everything what they were supposed to do with the correct tag timings, with the correct interfere timings. They knew exactly how to handle every situation that was given to them.
Yeah, Full Swing overall, the interferes especially, they knew who to focus. They were definitely communicating, talking to each other to focus on this player or go in for a defensive interfere to use this skill to save your teammate. So it's just overall the points used on Full Swing side was much better compared to Triple J's kind of, I don't want to say wasted interfere points, but, recklessly used or defensive interfere points that Full Swing made Triple J use.
It's true, and as much as we like to give credits to both teams, it just seems like Full Swing was the better team this time around, and hopefully Triple J can learn from this experience and make some corrections to their plays, and hopefully the next time they do come out into the field, maybe they can have a better showing and still keep their hopes alive. But congratulations to Full Swing to getting the first win of the series of Day 2, and now they will be on to the winners match of Group B, which will be happening right after the next match. So the third match, we'll see Full Swing back in action against probably the most experienced team we're going to be seeing in the next match coming up.
Yeah, we'll have Oh Yeah versus G Touring after a couple minute breaks with some advertisements. Yeah, we will be back.
But advertisement hype is on your way, as you guys have to watch out for that, and you'll come back to us, and we will be returning back with Day 2, with Game 2 coming right your way, so stay tuned. Welcome back to Korea, Blade&Soul Korea Finals, and we are back once again after match 1 just ended in a series.
You said welcome back to Korea.
No,
No, you said welcome back to Korea.
I said welcome back to Korea. You guys are back in Korea, with the OGN Stadium is where we are at. But we're done with match 1. But just kind of left a lot to be desired. I just personally feel that the first match was against 2 rookie teams with Triple J and Also, what was the other team?
Triple J and Full Swing.
Triple J and
It
Full
was
Swing.
interesting to watch to see which rookie team was the better one out of the two. So
we got the answer for that. Obviously, Full Swing was the better team, but don't think we got the exact amount of surprise that we got from Chobo yesterday. I think they really raised the expectation of what a rookie team can be. And another team that we've seen from Season 2 was Team Unknown, who surprised us by a margin. But sad news that we have to show to you guys is that, you know, Team Unknown will not be participating anymore. We'll talk about that further after the VCR.
안녕하세요. 5회 팀의 이상훈, 이수환, 김재유입니다.
파이팅 포인트가 높으신 분들이 좀 많이 해체를 하셨더라고요. 그래서 저희가 올 수 있었던 것 같아요. 다 잘해요, 저 빼고. 제가 약점이죠.
이상훈 선수는 암살자와 링검사 두 개의 직업을 플레이하고 있는데 둘 다 너무 공격적으로 해가지고 그게 약점이 될 때가 많아요. 플레이 스타일을 방어적인 스타일로 좀 바꿔가면서 그렇게 대회 준비를 할 예정입니다. 최대한 실수를 줄여서 1인분을 할 수 있도록 해야 될 것 같아요.
저는 원래 암살자와 링검사를 주로 플레이했었는데 새로운 직업인 권사로 다시 준비를 하여 좋은 모습을 보여주도록 준비해 보겠습니다.
저는 기존의 팀에서 메인 스탠딩 역할을 자주 맡았었는데 이제는 그 암살자 이상훈 선수를 스탠딩으로 내보내고 그냥 서포터 역할을 바꿔가지고 월드 챔피언십까지 진출할 예정입니다.
수환이가 말했던 것처럼 스타일의 변화를 좀 꾀하고 있는 과정이라 약간 과도기여서 좀 개선도 떨어지고 그랬는데 이제는 이제 저희가 그걸 많이 준비했고 앞으로도 이제 준비할 거기 때문에 단기적으로는 이제 챔피언스 그리고 장기적으로는 월드 챔피언십까지 진출할 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다.
안녕하세요. 새로운 지토링의 차우빈, 최영훈, 박경민입니다.
저희가 새로운 선수를 영입을 했는데 그 전에 있던 김변우 선수를 더 좋은 팀으로 보내줬고 이제 저희끼리 열심히 해보려 합니다. 다시 도전한 이유는 일단 김변우 씨 잡으러 저번 시즌에 권사 링검전을 이겨서 아주 의기양양하는데 이번 시즌은 질이 다른 권사를 보여주도록 하겠습니다.
그리고 저도 이제 링검사로 바뀌었는데 김본우 씨 꼭 만나서 링검사가 뭔지 보여드리고 싶습니다.
언노운 팀은 개인적인 일들 때문에 해체가 돼가지고 좋은 팀을 찾다가 기회가 생겨가지고 이렇게 지토링 찾아오게 된 것 같습니다. 아주 수준이 높다고 생각합니다. 열심히 하도록 하겠습니다.
다시 시작한다는 마음으로 열심히 하고 최대한 즐기면서 하고 싶습니다.
너 즐기면 안 돼 이제. 저희가 맨날 문턱에서 떨어지는 모습을 많이 보여드렸는데 이번에 새로운 선수와 함께 더 강한 모습으로 돌아오겠습니다. 잘 지켜봐 주십시오.
변우 형은 그냥 기다리고 있으면 알아서 찾아가도록 하겠습니다.
금방 갈 겁니다.
금방 가지.
As an instant fanboy of Unknown last season, it just breaks my heart to say that Team Unknown is officially disbanded for personal reasons that hasn't been disclosed quite yet. So I think I'm just kind of speculating, but I think we've seen in interviews in Season 2 that how they were talking about they're so busy and they always have their personal business to attend to. And maybe that just became too much for them to, you know, compete for the Korea finals. And even if they make it, I think they very well could have. I think even if they waited to the World Championship, I think that would have been a little bit too much responsibility to handle. So now they are disbanded, and one of the players, Young-Hoon Che, who had played the assassin for the Team Unknown, is now joined G Touring. And it's going to be an exciting team to watch because I remember Young-Hoon Che did a spectacular job in that team anyway.
Yeah. And now we just saw now before the screen change, Team Oh Yeah. And we had Suwon Lee and Jae-yu Kim registered with only one class each. Suwon Lee on the Destroyer, Jae-yu Kim on the Warlock. Again, yes, we have Warlocks today. And Sang-hoon Lee had a couple of classes registered. However, you saw in the interview, Sang-hoon Lee is too hasty, too aggressive. So as long as he calms down a little bit, they're confident that they have a chance against a strong team like G Touring on screen right now with many classes registered.
Oh yeah, they can play all of these too because we saw Young Che flexing into different classes as well in the last season. But going back to Oh Yeah though, I think Sang-Won Lee, he does need to kind of adjust his style to be a little bit less ambitious at times where it doesn't overextend. But Oh Yeah is definitely going to put him in the carry role, definitely going to put him in that role where he can do most of the damage outputs and most of the crucial key plays that actually gets them the win. So they're going to be relying on him to do that. So that's going to be a key focus to watch for Sang-Won Lee, whether he can control his style and be a little more, bit more enduring in the way he plays out his style. But G-Touring is going to be another thing exciting to watch because we had a relatively textbook two players with Youngmin Park and Woo-Bin Cha doing their usual things but not really leading to satisfactory results. But we have now Youngmin Che, an exciting player on the assassin role, is going to be looking to put the dynamics into the G-Touring squad and trying to put them energetic into this team.
Yeah, and on G-Touring, Woo-Bin Cha, if you saw in the interview, he was playing the Warlock last season.
Yeah.
He played the Soul Fighter last year, but now he's back, or he is on the Blade Dancer this season. So let's see how Woo-Bin Cha, he's been a very solid player on the Warlock and the Soul Fighter. So let's see how well he plays the Blade Dancer this season.
And another flex player you want to talk about is Youngmin Che, who has been playing mostly Assassin in Season 2. He could flex to the Warlock as part of what we've been hearing is that he's been practicing on that heavily as well. So expect him to flex a little bit more beyond the Assassin, which is a very good role that we've seen from him so far. But he's going to go with the Assassin this time around with Youngmin Che. First one to come up against Soo-Won Lee on the Destroyer. The first showing of Destroyer today in Day 2. So we're going to see how this actually falls out. Youngmin Che, who has impressed us for most of the tournament in Season 2, is probably going to be looking to do the same with seemingly a more impressive squad according to his standards with G-Touring.
Yep, and I'm very excited to see a Destroyer versus an Assassin, even though, not even though, just because it is Youngmin Che, because he played so well.
Yeah.
I'm just going to compare him to Jinyu Park. When Jinyu Park was at the peak, Youngmin Che was climbing up there towards him. So I'm very excited to see Youngmin Che's Assassin back in the game.
But we're going to move straight onto the game and see how the new Youngmin Che on the G-Touring will have changed versus Oh Yeah on the first singles going into the series. Let's get the match underway. Let's get it on. And just how did Youngmin Che's transfer over to the new squad of G-Touring have affected his playstyle or even his individual gameplay? We have to find out in this first match against Soo-Won Lee on the Destroyer with Oh Yeah, trying to put some points back for both sides. They're both up in the area trying to make something happen. Destroyer gets the first damage on, but Youngmin Che puts the landmine down, tries to make something work of it, but he just keeps spinning around with the Destroyer.
The Typhoon neglected that landmine. Playing the Destroyer is pretty good. The reactions are solid right now. Puts down the Ember Stomp, but you know, obviously Youngmin Che is going to keep his distance until that goes away.
For sure. And Youngmin Che is going to be just looking for a good opportunity. We've seen this kind of playstyle just from Season 2, and this guy is a good opportunist where he just comes up with the right timing of when to use his skill. This is going to the body swap. That's very nice, putting the landmine damage onto him. Some minor damage, but definitely a state maker where he puts in the Poison Breath to put the Bombard and to put in some additional damage as well. Now Soo-Won Lee on the Destroyer is out of his escape. So Youngmin Che playing very composed for the early 1 minute. Oh, puts down the landmine actually. Just lands almost in midair.
Yeah, and the Destroyer is out of his tap escape and his persistence. However, Youngmin Che is taking some damage. Finally, he uses his stealth. He wants to create or make an opportunity right now when the Destroyer is out of both of his escapes.
And it's very much a good opportunity for Youngmin Che to make a statement here because this will be the chance. The 5 seconds is all he has. Now he knows that he's knocked down and he's going to be trying to look for something happen, but Soo-Won Lee doesn't get that to connect the landmine action. That's very nice from Youngmin Che. Youngmin Che, very impressive as he was from Season 2. He's going to be looking to do the same. He's going to put him in the area onto the additional damage onto the webbing. Is going to be usual format for the Assassin, but Youngmin Che showing his impressive moves going onto the singles in Game 1.
Yeah, and the Destroyer does get his Cab Escape back as well as Assassin, but he has to use it right away!
Youngwon Che really clinching this victory right now. The Bombard with the additional damage, the landmine will likely connect, and that's gonna be enough damage to finish him off, likely in the next seconds to come.
Okay, he's healing with the Stone Shield.
Wow, my goodness.
But yeah, if it does go down, even though there's 50 seconds left, I'm pretty sure Youngwon Che is not going to allow it go down to a TKO. However, even if it does, obviously Youngwon Che has put in more damage.
And Youngwon Che is really just a glimpse of fresh air that we really expected from Day2. And this player has impressed us from the previous season, and he's even got better, it seems like, just so composed in every play that he's been making. So Youngwon Che is feeling very good about himself. Another landmine didn't land, supposedly.
It didn't land, but he did predict that the Destroyer was going to come in.
Puts him in the down, knockdown, and it's going to be the string and the poison damage, and it's going to be putting in the last strike. Seemingly, that's going to be good enough. The Bombard to finish him off, and Youngwon Che gets the first win for G Touring, and a good showing from him once again. Good to have him back.
Yeah, good to have him back. And usually an Assassin would, you know, finish an opponent with the stab or, you know, something lightning rod or something. But Youngwon Che loves the Bombard, because if you guys remember, if you followed Blade and Soul since last year, Youngwon Che, when he subbed in for SWAT, that's when we first saw a Bombard being used in an effective way against a summoner. So, you know, Youngwon Che, when he comes out, all I remember is last year's Bombard Assassin. And he's keeping that with him all the way up to this year.
And along with Season 1, Season 2, Youngwon Che was one of the primary assassins who popularized the Bombard usage, and the effective use has really spread over to the Western countries as well, with Europe and NA making effective uses of their assassins using the Bombard as well. So Youngwon Che really a trendsetter for this assassin meta, and these Bombard effective use of them, and the quick landmines are very good uses of that. We've seen in a couple of occasions throughout this match, but just like I said, just a breath of fresh air. It just seems like with Youngwon Che coming back into the meta and just coming back to this tournament to impress us once again.
I love that Bombard ending. Very well played by Youngwon Che. Unfortunate for Suwon Lee. However, it's just the first match, so we still have the second, and we have the big tag match coming up in the third match. So, you know, don't worry too much. Don't get tilted. You guys still have a chance to come back, take away the momentum from G Touring.
And definitely the excitement point is there for already from Game 1, and just like that, when you dominate someone as such in the tournament and you get the Game 1 in that dominated fashion, it just gives a lot of momentum to your team, and it's going to be looking very good for Youngmin Park, who's going to be the second one up on your favorite KFM again. And it's going to be with Sangwon Lee coming out on the Assassin this time, and it's going to be the second match to decide whether can pull it back to even or G Touring will run away with a 2-0 victory. And it's going to be a good one to watch, because this is an essential part of where with his very cute pillow, I have to say. You want to mention it earlier.
I was looking at that. All right, he got his pillow. All right, let's see how you do, Sangwon.
So whether that is a violation of the regulation to have such a cute pillow during with the game adds a buff to Sangwon Lee, obviously. But as we said earlier in the interview, Sangwon Lee is supposed to be the carrier of this team, and him performing well on the singles will have an effect on how they do in the tech match. And so it's going to be a very important thing definitely for and so Sangwon Lee has to perform this time around to get his point back to even. But we're going to see whether Sangwon Lee can pull his team back to even at 1-1 with and G Touring. The second match of second singles coming right your way. So let's get it on. And this is definitely an important one for because Sangwon Lee performing well, as we mentioned earlier, is going to be very vital in how they carry on with the tag match that will eventually come up in the third match. Sangwon Lee on the Assassin trying to do some work against Youngmin Park's KFM, but trying to be landing.
That triple kick landed through that decoy, and Sangwon Lee has a yellow helmet this time around instead of the blue one.
The first showing of the yellow helmet, how that's going to make a difference. We have to see the Dino helmets are always effective, but this time Sangwon Lee tried to make this work, put him under the stun, onto the damage, and Sangwon Lee putting just not much answers to this because he is out of his escape, still putting in another stun. And Youngmin Park is going to be almost done nicely. Just putting in the continuous amount of damage is going to be good enough to finish him off. The knockdown seemingly going to be, just barely enough, but not enough style points for the ending. The knockdown finish would have been nice, but KFM, but Youngmin Park showing his usual stuff. He always shows the textbook plays. We've seen that from Season 1 to Season 2, and just back in Korea Finals to do exactly what he's always been good at. That's just textbook plays that we always expect from a KFM.
Yeah, and Sang-Won Lee just seems like, he was kind of surprised of how fast the match ended.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't get that buff from the pillow.
The pillow.
Yeah, like the assassin is supposed to be the mobile one. He was supposed to be controlling the field. However, he was forced to use both his escapes. And Youngmin Park, being the experienced player, knew that he was out of all of his escapes. And landing one CC, KFM's just gonna finish you off.
And just not, it wasn't even just one stun though, it was a 2 consecutive stuns putting in that series of damage that obviously Youngmin Park knows that whenever he with the KFM does put the stun up in crucial times when you don't have an escape, the continuous damage definitely will be there with the particular class that he has.
Yeah, and Youngmin Park, even though they are G-touring, the team itself hasn't been, getting too high, but they have been always making it up to, at least top 6, top 5 on the rosters. So they want to try to get up there, and I'm pretty sure they've been practicing. And one of the things, Woo-Bin Cha has been switching classes to see what fits the team better.
Yeah, sure.
And this time around, they also got Young-Won Che on the team. So I want to see how this plays out.
And just really an important thing of G-Touring being the experienced team along with Oh Yeah, who has been working seemingly for these past months after Season 1. They didn't qualify for Season 2, so they have been working on their strats and trying to see what works best for them. But with the singles that we've seen so far, it just hasn't seemed to found an answer according to just this G-Touring team in particular. But we're going to have to see how this will transpire into the tag match that will come forth. But we want to keep talking about this, but
no. Right now we just got word that there was a technical difficulty with Sang-Won Lee's mouse. So
did it happen in the game?
I'm not sure. They didn't tell us that we're gonna do a regame or not. But right now in the booth, they are changing or fixing Sang-Won Lee's mouse right now. So soon we'll find out if they're just gonna go on to the tag match or redo the second match.
And we will give you guys the word once we do receive the confirmation that a rematch will be happening from this. But definitely Sang-Won Lee, seemingly supposed to be the carry of this team, didn't play as to par as to what the teammates were probably expecting of him. So if he does go to a rematch, I'm sure Youngmin Park would love to have that and try to finish him off once again. But oh yeah, if they do get the rematch on, this will be a huge opportunity for these guys because they will need every point possible in this best of 4.
Yeah, and every time there is a rematch, I always say this, whoever called the rematch should be prepared to win because call a rematch, even though it was a technical difficulty, like you call the rematch, you definitely have to be ready to show something else, something more than the previous matches or the previous showings that you have done.
Yeah. And so I think, just Sang-Won Lee, it still hasn't been confirmed yet as to how this opportunity, how this situation will be continued, but just seems like no word has come yet. But let's talk about the game itself though. Just from the first showing and the second showing, obviously we knew Young-Won Che was a superstar and unknown, and he's just bringing his play back in style for this new team, G-Touring. But how do you think G-Touring's power level compare that of Oh Yeah?
Oh, well, Young-Won Che is definitely a good quote-unquote replacement or a new recruit to come into G-Touring. But before getting into details about the skill levels, I want to just talk about how, if you guys remember last season, G-Touring, they said they're going to disband if they don't win. And they're back here. I was surprised. I was like, hey, G-Touring, wait, there's a G-Touring still?
Yeah. I almost forgot about that statement. So that promise has been made last season. So they didn't keep their promise. They didn't disband, but they partially disbanded with sending Byung-Woo Kim. And it's a good time for us to talk about this as well. So you saw that roster changes did happen with G-Touring. What happened was Byung-Woo Kim was transferred over to Coup d'etat. So that's going to be a big news that I'm sure you guys will see actually make a difference once we do get to the champion stage of the tournament. But just right now, you guys know that Byung-Woo Kim, who used to be in G-Touring, is now over to Coup d'etat. And another surprising news that, I really didn't want to mention it now. I wanted to wait when the right time was coming. But as every time you just mention Junior Park, I just have to say how this is unfortunate news.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you anymore because we have to go to the match. We'll see if this is going to be a rematch or up to the next match. Most likely going to be a rematch between Sang-Won Lee and Youngmin Park on the second match. We have to see how this will go on, but the news will come sooner or later, but not right now. Let's get on to the second match. Let's get it on. Oh, I apologize. This is actually the game 3 is going to be going to the tag, so it will be 2-0.
Okay. They didn't tell us, so it's fine.
But with the clarification now on the screen, obviously you guys can see better than we can. So obviously game 3 is going to be having underway with the tag match coming for our way. So 2-0 currently up for G2, so that's going to be a huge advantage. So if they win this one now, that's going to be basically the end of the series. So with this being said, Jae-yu Kim on the Warlock is going to be the first one up for Oh Yeah, and Youngwon Chae is actually out on the Warlock, as we mentioned, that's going to be his flex. Yep. So he's not with the Assassin this time around, he's coming out with the Warlock. Both familiars out, trying to put some damage, but Jae-yu Kim definitely gets a better part of that trade for the first part.
Yeah, we'll see how Youngwon Chae performs on his Warlock, because yes, he is a very formidable Assassin, but you know, for the team, he sacrificed this Assassin and is on the Warlock. And just because the Warlock is good for the team, you know, maybe he will perform well, but if he doesn't, then he might want to switch back to his Assassin. So we'll have to see what happens on this match.
So we saw the interfere coming in from both sides, but not too much damage happening, but it does force out the escape from Jae-yu Kim.
The tether blade connecting, forcing that stealth out of Sang-Won Lee right away.
So Sang-Won Lee comes into the field, but has to use the tab escape right away because he has been getting that tether blade on. So this is a good chance for Youngwon Chae to make a statement. He has all of his resources available that he can freely use as he likes.
Yep. All right, Youngwon Chae is not doing bad. He's doing pretty well. There's 10 seconds left for that force tag, which means he gets to save a tag point as long as he keeps his distance and doesn't let his teammate get chased right when the force tag happens.
And it's already a win for G-Touring because they get a free tag point, whereas Sang-Won Lee from Oh Yeah had to use a tag point to get himself in. So already a win for G-Touring so far. So Sang-Won Lee trying to make something happen from here, but Youngmin Park doing a good job as he did in the second match, trying to do the same against the same opponent that he faced in game 2.
Yeah, Youngmin Park comes in right after the force tag, using the flurry so he doesn't get chased. And there we go, the Warlock tags in on Oh Yeah side, giving the Assassin back his escapes to make it even.
To make the time distortion to get the escapes back. Now Sang-Won Lee has all of his escapes back. He has to make them to good use, but puts it on the landmine, doesn't pop it yet, so he doesn't have any range to pop it. But Youngmin Park on the KFM doing good work, trying to make this work. The landmine is still there, so puts him on the stun, and that's going to be good enough to force out the tab escape once again. The Bombard is coming in from the stun, so I think Youngmin Park should have used the escape before the Bombard does came in, but it's hard to predict that.
Yeah, but overall, Youngmin Park is performing very well, and that chase right there with the force tag.
Oh, that wasn't a force tag, it was actually a tag point used.
It was tagged out, but
so
very good timing.
Yeah, so 9 seconds left, he could have just stalled it out, but I think he didn't want to take the risk, and now had to use another tag point. Now G-Touring is completely ahead in the resources they have in regards to the tag points they have. So now Jae-yu Kim, as soon as he comes in, he already uses the tab escape. So G-Touring, just so many advantages that they have right now. But actually, before I say that, the Warlock puts in a lot of damage onto Youngmin Park, who is forced to tag out. Now first to use their first tag point of the match with G-Touring. Now Woobin Cha is back out.
Woobin Cha is on the Blade Dancer for the first time in this series. He's always been, like I mentioned, a Warlock and a Soul Fighter, so let's see how well he performs on this Blade Dancer.
But definitely a Blade Dancer, still a meta pick that every team likes to rely on. So, Woobin Cha decided to go with the team-oriented pick with the Blade Dancer this time around. So, whether he can do something with that, we have to find out. But Jae-yu Kim putting good damage, trying to put on good damage without taking much himself. To puts the familiar out now onto Youngwon Chae, trying to do something with it.
Yeah, we have the Warlock mirror. I mixed that up. However, let's see. Youngwon Chae actually performed pretty well for the first time playing Warlock on the live stage.
Yeah, I think so, because he did have to use the free tag points, so he got a lot of tag advantage just right there. So that already was a win in itself. So using time distortion to get the tag, to get the escape back. But now the Destroyer Simon Lee is out, so another tag point having already used, but this is not good enough. Not a good tag because that's already
Simon Lee interferes in. He gets into the aerial, and Youngwon Chae ignores the Destroyer, and he just finishes off Sangwon Lee.
Sangwon Lee, what a crucial mistake that was. He didn't even die off his stage. He just died off of an interfere. And that was actually good enough damage coming from Youngwon Chae on the Warlock. We know how much damage potential a Warlock has, and he really showed it just there. Knocking off the Sangwon Lee on the Assassin just basically in one try.
Yeah, we don't want to see an interfere come in and the interferee get dead. You have to time it right, and you have to know what skill to use right away so you don't get caught.
And it's a death tag is an example of what he showed with Sangwon Lee today. And you know, now with Suwon Lee on the Destroyer now, he's already taken so much health off of him, but Kyungmin Park is back out on the KFM. And this is looking very bad for OEA because another tag point seemingly used because he is on the lowest of health. So Jae Kim is now back out on the Warlock trying to put some damage onto the KFM with Kyungmin Park, who has done seemingly well throughout this series. Now the Familiar is out trying to make something work out of that. So without this escape that he has available, this is his chance for OEA to make some damage happen, but actually takes a lot of damage in himself.
Yeah, Jae Kim is going to have to stay out for the next minute and 18 seconds because he has no tag points, so he has to wait for the force tag. But, you know, G-Touring, they have so much resources right now, so they're not going to let Jae Kim stay out there for so long. There is
no to the blade. That's ultimate, actually putting a lot of damage in the late part of the animation, and that's going to be good crucial damage onto Jae Kim. Now he can't tag out for the next minute or so.
Oh my god!
And that's going to be enough damage to knock him out. So KFM, Kyungmin Park doing work, and he's going to be doing to finish him off right away with the Destroyer. Suwon Lee trying to make something work, but it's going to be looking very hard for the Destroyer to knock off the entire team 1v3.
I feel so bad for Jae Kim. He gets hit by a blade&soul ult, and then Kyungmin Park comes in, and then he gets hit by the KFM ult, so he gets hit by 2 ults.
And good series of ultimates used by G-Touring to get that crucial damage, knocking him out. So now Suwon Lee is just left hopeless with the Destroyer. Obviously not the character you usually see finishing off a team 1v3. That's not very characteristic of a Destroyer, but trying to do his best part to do that. But Kyungmin Park doing standing strong. This is very good, but they're out and it's going to interfere. The tag coming with the Blade Dancer and the KFM finishing up in style. And Kyungmin Park showing consistency is the exact word I want to use for that play, because Kyungmin Park has made very little crucial mistakes for his team and did everything right. Of course, we've seen him do that in the past, but today especially, he's done a spectacular job along with Youngwon Chae.
Yeah, unfortunately for I keep seeing that pillow. The pillow didn't buff them. They didn't win a single game. They got sweep 4-0 to G-Touring. But, like, to be honest, G-Touring is the more experienced. Even though OEA and G-Touring, they're both experienced. It's just G-Touring has more experience in this live stage. They have better teamwork, I guess, because they have at least Woomin Cha and Kyungmin Park staying together as a team for almost 2 years. So that explains how, you know, getting even a new player, Youngwon Chae, into the team, Youngwon Chae was able to adapt to their team play because they have been together for so long.
A lot of credit goes to Youngwon Chae because, you know, he did spectacular on the Assassin. That part we already knew that was going to happen, but him coming out on the Warlock this time around, a very team-oriented pick. I'm sure that was not his primary decision with the classes that he decided to choose, but for the tag, he did go with the Warlock, a new class for him that we haven't seen from him yet, but doing really well for this part, doing everything right to get their team the tag advantage that they needed, and also putting the damage part when they needed it the most.
Yeah, and at the end you saw that Phantom Grip, the small Blade Dancer Phantom gripping a big, huge giant.
Feels good, man.
And Kyungmin Park coming in to punch him to death. The picture is not right.
But I think just one of the things I would like to compliment about G-Touring is that although they always have been textbook, but textbook means that it's sometimes boring to watch. Not much animations and not much dynamics in there. You can always expect what they're going to do, but today's showing of G-Touring was seemingly different. It was a more animated and more dynamic team that wanted to produce more excitement. I think that's partly due to Youngwon Chae's dynamic style of play, but that contributing to the entire team's just illustrious play that was really beautiful to watch today.
Yeah, good point, but yeah, it seems like we're going to be going into our quick break. We'll be back very soon.
Welcome back to 2017 blade&soul Korea Finals. We have been covering Group B for day 2 today, and we're just done with all the teams so far. Now we're up to the winners match to decide the #1 seed.
Yeah, we have G Touring and Full Swing going up at it in the best of 7 this time around. It's not best out of 4. So first team to receive or gain 6 points is the winner, and they're gonna get the first seed. However, the rest of the team, the 3 teams that don't get first, obviously, the second, third, fourth, they are not out of the tournament yet. Next week, they have another chance for the losers match to take the second seed to go up into the champion stage.
We're always a provider of second opportunities and second chances that will get to these teams, no matter if you are losing for the first few matches. But regardless of second opportunities, you always want to be the winners of every match, and getting that #1 seed always feels good because that's going to get you a higher chance. It's going to get you a higher chance for your placement in the World Championship, which is going to be the final objective of every team participating in this tournament. So we're going to have to see how the third match will span out, because we will be deciding who the #1 seed will be for Group B, and that's going to be between G Touring and Full Swing, as I remember. So we're going to be seeing this rookie team face off against G Touring, who have been really impressive, more impressive, as to say, than Season 2 and Season 1 when we had seen them before. So
we'll have to see. On screen, we have Full Swing. Each class, well, 2 classes are registered for each players. And G Touring, I don't know if you guys remember show, but G Touring has tons of classes registered. But you know, it just because you have a lot of classes registered doesn't mean you're a good player. You know, as long as look at GFAM, they have a few. They have 1 classes per person, and they play very well. So as long as they play the classes they registered super good, then you're fine.
I think one of the things that we want to talk about is the difference between the 2 squads, where Full Swing has 2 experienced players who were pros before. So Hyuk-Yeon and Young Tae-chae, who has made appearances in this blade&soul Korea tournament before, they did well, and they really proved that experience is a worthy thing against the full rookie team that we saw against Triple J. Didn't do so well on their part, but G Touring faced another experienced veteran pro team with trying to make a statement there, but G Touring really tore them apart from singles all the way to the tag. So just a dominating performance by these guys, as you can see on the screen. Youngmin Park and Youngwon Chae, who's been seeing the most dynamic players of that particular series. We didn't see too much of Woo-bin Cha until the tag match did come along. So just very exciting thing to see how the power levels really compared between the 2 teams.
Yeah, Woo-bin Cha, like you said, he's not on the field that much. We don't see him too much, but all the classes, especially last year when he plays a Soul Fighter, we saw Shingyung Kim Soul Fighter, Kim-sung Hwang Soul Fighter going all over the map. However, Woo-bin Cha was kind of like the defensive, the support role with whatever class he plays. I guess he gives the attacking position to his teammates. So even on this Blade Dancer right now, he does play the defensive, he does play the support role, so we won't be seeing him too much, but we get to see Youngwon Chae's assassin and Warlock.
That's true, and the Youngwon Chae, we saw him flex to the Warlock just for the tag match, so as I mentioned earlier, he has been practicing those different classes, and he is completely available to flex those classes depending on the situation. But for the first match in particular, we're going to have Young Tae-chae on the Warlock with G Touring facing off in the game 1.
Yeah, Gyeongmin Park's KFM versus a Warlock. Let's see how this will go down. Gyeongmin Park has always been playing the KFM as his main, so he is very experienced. So personally, as a KFM player, I love seeing KFMs go in there, go into the fight, showing some good plays.
Exactly, and we saw in game 2 of the previous series where G Touring Youngmin Park did come out to really dominate his opponent with the stuns and really just finishing up 1-0. But whether he can do it again, we have to find out, as G Touring gets their first taste of Full Swing in the first match with their first singles coming right your way. So let's get it on. Now, as we know, these two were victors of their first series of the day, but it has to be fair to say that G-Torrent's Gyeongmin Park looked a lot more dominating in how he handled out the singles. So whether he can do it again, we have to see this. But the Warlock with Byung-tae Che trying to make some statement early in the game.
Yeah, for those of you tuning in a little bit late, this match right now is the best out of 7, the first match. And Gyeongmin Park is taking tons of damage right now from that Warlock.
And Gyeongmin Park is still saving his escape for now. So Gyeongmin Park taking a lot of damage after that initial stun up to the aerial, putting that damage from the familiar, also from the Warlock itself. So that stun actually coming along his way as well. So putting him to the aerial, it's going to be a chance for Gyeongmin Park to make some statements and put in some damage. And it's going to give the second aerial, trying to put some additional damage. And there's going to be a chance for Byung-tae Che to try to use his key. He saves it for now. He still saves the escape. He doesn't seem to escape. I don't know. I'm kind of baffled by the situation where Gyeongmin Park tried to put in a lot of damage, and I think Byung-tae Che should have expected that coming.
Yeah, Byung-tae Che did save his escape. However, yeah, like he could have used it, but if he used it, then Gyeongmin Park would have gone full out because the familiar was out. It was not on the field. So, and there we go. Byung-tae Che takes that advantage, does a lot of damage, forcing Gyeongmin Park to use his tab escape first.
Wow, and Gyeongmin Park is the first one to use the tab escape, surprisingly as it was, and Byung-tae Che doing a good counterattack with the damage that he has taken initially for Gyeongmin Park, but Gyeongmin Park is going to be looking for his chance right here.
Body swap.
Yeah, this is going to be a good chance for this guy, and Gyeongmin Park has to look for the situation where he looks for that one stun. Actually, he stunned up his Zell, and
not looking good.
And the
He's
Warlock
out of
is
his
putting out all the
escape.
damage, and there's going to be enough damage to finish him up. And Byung-tae Che gets the first win for full swing, and they're one up against G-Touring, and this is going to be the first exciting one to see. We never expected this result.
Yeah, I gotta give props to Byung-tae Che saving that tab escape. Even though he took a lot of damage early on, he didn't give that opportunity to Gyeongmin Park because he was telling Gyeongmin Park, I still have my tab escape.
Exactly. And
I have my tab escape. The Gyeongmin Park couldn't go full out.
It's true.
And on the turning side, he was able to take Gyeongmin Park's tab escape out, and later on he got that opening and he just finished.
And Byung-tae Che, I think he did a good job of monitoring the previous series when he know that the lack of escape allowed him to get stunned up again and get the full combo from Gyeongmin Park in the previous series of Game 2. And I'm sure he monitored and he knew that in most situations he's gonna save that escape until basically the brink of death. So very good job of Byung-tae Che, which I was initially baffled by his save of escape, but initially turned out to be a good result for him as he gets the first singles win. And now Full Swing is 1-0 up over G-Torrent.
Yeah, and as we always say at the end of the first match, yeah, it is not too crucial to lose or win the first match, even though you do get that momentum starting for the winning team, because this time around it's best out of 7, first team to 6 points.
But definitely a statement maker for Full Swing as well, because we did not expect them to be a higher contender compared to G-Touring, but there's going to be a chance for G-Touring to bring it back, and the player to do it is none other than Young-hoon Che, who has been a very formidable player from Season 2 with Team Unknown, now onto his new squad in G-Touring, playing that usual assassin that we're very familiar with. He's going to play against the Dongjun Park, playing against for his Full Swing, so this is a good chance for G-Touring to make a statement back at him, so a counter-attack if you will, and getting a point back for G-Touring would be very good for this situation.
Yeah, let's see, Young-hoon Che is back on the assassin, obviously his main for the singles, and he's probably going to switch into the Warlock for the tag matches, but however, yeah, Dongjun Park being the new guy on the team, even on Full Swing, Hyuk-ki-an and Byung-tae Che having a little experience, Dongjun Park being the new guy, let's see how well he performs in this second set. Let's get ready to get into the second set, guys. Let's get it on!
Here we are for the second match with G-Touring versus Full Swing. And now Young-hoon Che is going to be out on the assassin, trying to get a point back for the team, but more importantly, getting a momentum shift back on their favor.
Yep, Full Swing is up 1 right now, and Young-hoon Che, of course.
Nice.
Youngwoo had to use his tab escape out, but he does capitalize on it.
The bombard into the second landmine, which probably he'll pop, and that's going to be the second series of combo going his way. But gets into the Phantom Grip from Dongjin Park, trying to get the Blade Dancer working and starting on this way. It gets to the first area, not probably going to continue into the second area. There we go, and it's going to be the more damage coming into this way to the lightning draw. Successful series of damage that he is expected from the Blade Dancer.
Yep, and Youngwoo gets his tab escape back within 5 seconds, and the damage meter, it seems pretty equal right now. Not totally equal, but it's pretty equal, pretty even right now. So now the first one to land that CC again. There we go.
Oh, actually getting the counter CC onto him as well. So Youngwoo getting stunned onto the bombard. The second bombard into the area, onto the area, and this is going to be good enough to finish him off. The webbing into the landmine is already proc. It's going to be popped into the destroying. What a quick series of succession that this guy, Youngwoo, I don't want to overreact about this guy, but everything he's doing is just connecting to the full extent, and this guy has been the best player that we've seen for this entire tournament so far.
Yeah, and Youngwoo poison breath into the bombard. That damage is ridiculous.
He used 2 series of bombard in a row, and it's like he
poison breath bombard, and half his health is gone. But anyways, Dongjin Park being the less experienced player, kind of like you see him on screen right now, kind of feels bad. But Youngwoo is, a very experienced assassin player, and when you go up against an experienced assassin, it's not looking good for you.
And I think Youngwoo is quickly becoming my favorite player of the tournament, as the finesse that he's showing throughout this. The way he carries out his plays is very impressive to watch. And no credits out to Dongjin Park as well, because I think he played very well. He did the usual Blade Dancer stuff, and once he got into the area, used the usual Blade Dancer combo into the lightning draw, which was fine, but he did what he was supposed to do. But I think just Youngwoo was just way steps ahead for him.
Yeah. And finishing it off with that bad breath at the end. Oh. Youngwoo last time around he finished it off with the bombard. This time around he does the poison breath finish. And now we are going to be going into our third set, which is the tag.
Yep.
And right now we are currently tied with Full Swing with 1 point and G-Touring with 1 point. So this time it's going to be worth 2 points for the tag.
And I think the tag match here on Game 3 is going to be very important for these guys, because G-Touring really wants to get ahead early, and they know that they are ahead by momentum over Full Swing, and Full Swing is the one to be the underdogs trying to push their way back in, and this is a good time for them to do so.
Yeah, and they are basically, Full Swing is testing out their limits against G-Touring right now, so let's see how well it'll turn out.
But G-Touring is going to be looking for this opportunity to really just push forward, because just everything about their play is trying to make a statement to their opponents, saying we are the better team and we have the better players, and you guys aren't going to be challenging us. But Game 1 didn't do that as justice as I'm sure as they wanted, but Game 2, Youngwoo showing his usual strats and doing extremely well. So whether he will do exactly the same, especially with Youngwoo Park on the KFM, probably trying to do the same, trying to carry for his team. But Game 3 is where we're going to be able to see that with G-Touring versus Full Swing, the first tag match of the series coming right your way. So let's get it on. It has definitely been an exciting series so far, as you can hear from the crowds of how they're supporting of each squad. In Full Swing and G-Touring are technically still even right now. Now on to the Game 3, which is going to be the first tag match of the series. And Hyuk-Yan on the Force Master is the first one to come out, with Youngwoo back out on the Warlock, a team priority composition for him.
Yeah, and Youngwoo is actually doing some damage in the Sanctum, but not too much damage going back and forth right now. But the Force Master did.
The Meteor actually putting a lot of damage onto Youngwoo. I don't know, but Youngwoo, he should be out of that distortion. But now use the time distortion, try to heal some of that damage back. But it's going to be very bad for Hyuk-Yan. Now he's going to come on the Force Master, trying to put in a lot of damage. I think that Meteor Strike, I think Youngwoo should have escaped from that a little bit earlier, so he took most of that damage just in free succession.
Yeah, but during that Meteor Storm, Youngwoo was actually doing some damage back to him, just taking damage. They were just trading damage. However, Full Swing did interfere and do the time distortion to give back the Force Master his escapes back.
This is chance to interfere, coming in with this chains coming up in the air, but then not much coming from him. Now Kyungmin Park on the KFM is back out on the tag point, having been already used for G-Touring now. G-Touring also having seen Full Swing use their first tag point now. Byung-tae is out on the Warlocks, trying to do some work on the G-Touring side.
Yep, this was kind of like the rematch, but Kyungmin Park tags out right away.
Wow.
Lets the Blade Dancer come in.
So early use of tag points by G-Touring. Now they're already down 2 tag points, whereas Full Swing had only used 1 so far. Now Woo Min Chai has to do something on the Blade Dancer that has to carry his team now, because they're really behind the amount of resources they have. So this is a chance for actually another tag point he hasn't used. Young Che is out.
Yeah, Young Che is out. The Blade Dancer Woo Min Chai tagged out. Well, to be honest, the Blade Dancer wants to be on bench to use his interfere points when he has to save his teammates, rather than having a Warlock or a KFM on bench most of the time.
Yeah, but we definitely see the instances from yesterday's Day 1 games where the tag match, if you use attack points too early, you just really pay for it in the near the late game if you do end up in the late game. So let's see how this actually, the early uses of the attack points from G-Touring, we see how that actually translates into the results near the late game. But this is going good for Full Swing right now because they have a lot more resources to work with.
Yeah, we got the Warlock mirror right now. Byung-tae Che is only has his tab escape, whereas Young Che, Byung-tae Che.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, Young Che has both. Oh, now he's already out of his tab escape.
Oh god.
Going back and forth, the mirror with the interferes.
They're going back and forth with the trade of damage, and now actually the Young Che getting the better part of that trade, actually getting more damage on the Byung-tae Che. Byung-tae Che is going to be sticking out for the next 5 seconds, trying to get that free tag in, which they're going to be very appreciative to do that. And now that's going to be good enough and keeps his distance for the eventual chase. That
chase happens.
That happens, but not too much coming from it, except the escape is gone from Dongjin Park as soon as he comes in. So Kyungmin Park on the KFN doing a good job of chasing, knowing the timer on that tag. Now he's on the lightning draw, actually exactly what you were talking about, to interfere, trying to get that full damage on. So good job of Woo Min Cha to trying to get that damage off of him.
Yeah, Kyungmin Park, even though he did get rid of Dongjin Park's escape right off the bat, that defensive interfere from Full Swing actually saved that Blade Dancer and bought him time, and now he gets his tab escape back already.
And now Dongjin Park has all of his escape available. This is going to be the second aerial. Oh, actually does a different variant of the combo. Now puts him onto the stun, and now onto the second aerial. This is going to be the defensive interfere, having to be forced out of G-Torrent because that was a dangerous situation if he just left alone.
Yeah, and that,
oh wow.
Yeah, Kyungmin Park is trying to do work even though he is at half health. Dongjun is actually staying out there for a long time. He still has 2 tag points left.
Full health as well, and Dongjun Park doing extremely good job of exactly what a Blade Dancer was supposed to do, and even more than that. Kyungmin Park, I'm sure he didn't expect this amount of strength coming from the Blade Dancer, but Kyungmin Park has to look for some answers coming right away. He does now force out this game. Now this is his chance for Kyungmin Park to put in the crucial stun, to put in continuous amount of damage. Of course, the interfere can come in to negate most of the damage, but Kyungmin Park has to look for this opportunity now. He has 10 seconds to do it.
Yeah, he has to do it when he's out of his escape. Force Full Swing to use a tag or an interfere point. Make him waste it. And he is working right now. He's doing his thing.
Yeah, the defensive interfere now coming in. The Force Master freezing him up, forcing him to be tagged out. And the chase does happen. And it gets into the area. That's a very good play by Full Swing to calculate that tag moment. The lightning draw fairly gets him. So now out to the Byung-tae Che, comes out on the Warlock with Woo Min Cha back out on the Blade Dancer, trying to do some work, but he's just been damaged as soon as he came in.
Yeah, even the Woo Min Cha did take some damage right when he came in. He saved his escape, so he is able to make some moves right now. Right now, before his escapes come back, make Byung-tae Che use his tag point. Come on.
Goodness, the time distortion gets his escape back, but just seems like Woo Min Cha should have been the one at the advantage because he had the escape available while Byung-tae Che didn't. So, but he did make a very good use of his situation. So now the Familiar and the Woo Min Cha just duking it out very casually, but Byung-tae Che on the Warlock, and along with all their teammates of Full Swing, doing a very good job of doing exactly what they're supposed to do at the right timing. Now, Byung-tae Che is out of his escape now. That's going to force him to tag out, so very good tag out. Forcing Dongjin Park coming back out on the Blade Dancer. Now they're slowly starting to kind of use these tag points in the manner where they will eventually run out sooner or later.
Yeah, even though Full Swing has a tag point advantage, G-Toing definitely has an interfere advantage right now. And there we go.
With the Warlock and continuous damage, and the interfere actually could have been crucial towards the defensive one because they could have taken a lot of damage, but fortunately they didn't take as much damage from that defensive interfere. But Youngmin Park does come in with the KFM trying to make some work out of Hyukyeon, but Hyukyeon frees himself, negating most of the damage and buying some time as well.
Oh no,
the ult come in.
The ult happens. Well, yeah, if you notice, Full Swing has all 3 ults. Now Hyukyeon used his ult.
Yep.
Whereas G-Touring, they only have Youngmin Park's ult right now, so we'll see how they utilize the Hongmoon ults right now.
Definitely, we know that the KFM ults are not much reliable unless you get the right opportunity. The time distortion comes in to bring Youngmin Park's escape right back, so Hyukyeon now is in the air, trying to make something work off it. He's still in chains.
Oh no,
so
he might use his ult. The KFM might use his ult.
It might be his opportunity, actually.
There we go! I called it!
Yeah,
Buddy tags out!
So very good use of the tag, negating all of that damage that potentially could have been there for Youngmin Park. Now the Familiar is back out for Byung-tae. Now he can choose to work with that.
Yep,
Triple put in the stun. That might be his chance, but actually puts him. Now the stun, the escape has been used because of that stun. Now Byung-tae has to be careful now because Youngmin Park getting what? Time distortion, get his escape back. So they gave everything that I just said so far. So Youngmin Park has to put in one more stun with the time distortion now on cooldown. If he gets into another stun, that forces him to use the escape. That's going to allow him to get that crucial damage output that he really wants out of the KFM.
Yeah, Youngmin Park's still out of his escape for the next 7 seconds. He has to kind of play it back until he gets it back, and as soon as he gets it, he's gonna make his move on Byung-tae to force the tag or force his tab escape at least.
But as you say that, Youngmin Park only has 10 seconds to do that because he will be force tagged out with a free tag out nicely. But 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the entire defensive interfere coming in. That's actually going to save him from a lot of damage output that potentially could have been done.
All right, nice, good. The force tag wasn't chased by Full Swing, so it's a mirror once again. Byung-tae, the Che brothers. Byung-tae Che versus Youngwon Che. Let's go.
And as much credit that we usually give to Youngwon Che, he hasn't been doing the same thing that he did in the previous series with the tag. He's going to have to look a lot better if he can get a victory over to G-Torin, but right now the time distortion coming in for the Sanctum on both sides, trying to do some work on both sides with the Warlock. We have no idea what's going to happen because the damage could come at any second.
Yep, they are basically just overlapping each other right now. Youngwon Che did some damage to Byung-tae Che, and he took very little damage, so it's an advantage for Youngwon Che right now on the Warlock mirror.
Okay, on the free tag, there's going to be a chance to chase. Then it's going to be coming out, and it does get a bit of a chase. And nice damage coming into there. This is going to be the chance for the Warlock to put in a lot of damage, and actually puts in not as much damage as probably he wanted. Youngwon Che wanted more out of that. That was good chase by G-Torin though.
Yeah, that was enough damage though for to scare.
Actually more damage! That's gonna be good enough damage to knock him out! Youngmin Park is gonna be out, but just tags out in time. Now Hyukyeon is safely out on the field, saving his teammate with that tag.
Wow, that was
nice
very
tag.
close. A close call, nice tag. However, if you look at the resources now, G-Toring is definitely by far ahead of Full Swing with that interfere points.
And definitely we saw Youngwon Che finally getting warmed up, putting in that immense amount of damage that he likes to with the Warlock, putting into that interfere now. This is actually going to be a waste of interfere because he frees himself, Hyukyeon. Now the interfere point is gone. Hyukyeon trying to make damage of it now, so resources is ahead for Full Swing. But Youngwon Che, 5 seconds left, so there's going to be a chance for Full Swing to look for the chase once it does happen. The meteor does come in, so this is going to be a tag out at the wrong spot, and it actually does get into the chase does happen.
Yeah, Youngmin Park is out right now. He does have that one tag point.
The stun happening to the Warlock. They're putting him into the chains and trying to make something work of it. The interfere coming in once again from Youngwon Che.
Oh, the ult is pulling. The ult is pulling. The ult is pulling.
Oh my God! That's enough damage to knock him out 100-0. And that is the pinnacle of what the Warlock can do with the ultimate. And that is an incredible forward movement for G-Toring right now. Oh, and so many things happening right now.
That cross lightning draw right there.
Oh my God. And
they're using all their points right now.
And the game is over. This is going to go over to TKO for sure. But that last few seconds with the ultimate from the Warlock is going to decide it all. G-Toring, I think, is going to win it all.
Yeah, G-Toring, Youngwon Che's that Warlock goal.
Goodness.
I can't believe that landed. That was the longest,
the most crucial time.
No, that was the most longest, the most obvious Warlock ult. It wasn't even like a super close one where you can't see the soul being pulled out. But it was like the longest. He's like, I'm using my ult, guys.
Hey, but
give me 5 seconds, and like he actually got hit by it.
Yeah, but you gotta give credit to G Touring as well. I think the animations were so overlapping each other that I think even as a pro player, of course you need to be conscious of that happening to you. But it was a very good try for G Touring in putting it out, putting the power level in the end to make that actually happen.
Yeah, well, that was just the third match.
I'm sorry, I'm getting too hyped over this, but
it's 3-1 right now. G Touring being 3, Full Swing being 1. This is best out of 7, first to 6 points. So we still have 3 points to go for G Touring.
But to be honest, I think I've expected so much out of these rookie teams that the first series wasn't as exciting as I could have really possibly made it to. But G Touring is really bringing the level of excitement that I really like from a blade&soul team, and this was a good chance to do it because I think G Touring was mostly behind most of this game, especially the early to mid game, but late game they just pull out something out of their hat and make it work out.
Yeah, and right now you see Dongjun Park getting
almost
knocked out. This was one of the exciting parts that he was able to live, and this is all, that ult just now. That was a long ult that I was talking about. He's like, hey guys, I'm pulling you out. Give me 5 seconds.
Using every skill that was under cooldown, trying to put as much damage for the last 5 seconds to get ahead of the TKO. But I think that Warlock ult really put the icing on the cake, where that was enough damage to literally clinch out your victory in the TKO, and we all knew that after it actually happened.
Oh yeah, definitely. Youngwon Che, actually, yeah, props to Youngwon Che as well. He took that opportunity, that opening, to use his ult. I'm pretty sure he used it thinking it'll probably get cancelled, but he did time it right in order to land it. So, props to him and props to his teammates for creating that opportunity. And now we are on our 4th set, back to 1 singles game. So let's bring down the tension a little bit. We have Hyukki on the Force Master. We have Woobin Cha on his Blade Dancer still.
I think he's really been considering the Blade Dancer for a while now, and I think he's just really cementing that as his primary role for G Touring now. Woobin Cha on the Blade Dancer is a relatively new thing for us, but it's going to be a very cementing thing for us as well, because we're going to continue to see G Touring perform, and Hyukki really has to have an answer for the lack of points that have been acquired throughout the series. So 1 point back would be good for these guys.
Yeah, even though to G Touring, losing 1 point wouldn't be too big for them right now. However, like you just said, Full Swing, they want to get a win. They want to, pick up their broken mentality now, because it was such a long game. Even though it was only game 3, felt like we just played 5 sets already.
It's true, and we're going to see whether they can do that with Hyukki on the Force Master, trying to answer back against G Touring. We're going to see the game 4, the singles coming right your way, so let's get it on. Here we go, not for the final match, it almost seems like to be, but it's the only game 4 right now of this best of 7, and we have Hyukki on the Full Swing, playing the Force Master against Woobin Cha's Blade Dancer, something relatively new to us. We're going to see how this actually works out in the singles matchup.
Yep, he grabs him into defense grip right now. There we go. He is making his first move. Nothing too crucial is happening.
And Woobin Cha standing his ground firmly as he was get series of attacks now onto this. This is going to be the aerial for the Blade Dancer coming in. The second aerial will come your way. Lightning Draw most likely coming his way, but it's not pulling off. The stun actually coming in. Another re-knock go. That's actually very nice. The second aerial usually coming in. Now we might see the Phantom Grip. All these creativity from Woobin Cha that we haven't seen from other Blade Dancers, whether it's a lack of experience or just something very creative we have to see. But the Lightning Draw wasn't propped for the 2 opportunity he has, and now he might pay for it with the damage now he's taking from Hyukki Force Master.
Yeah, but he did make Hyukki take out on his tab escape. So yeah, Woobin Cha is still out of his tab escape as well. But yeah, Woobin Cha was able to create many opportunities. So we'll have to see. Now he might just use the Lightning Draw in advance.
And I think from the other side of this aerial going to the second aerial, will he use it this time? The Lightning Draw is a push onto the second aerial. This might be a new series of Blade Dancer we haven't seen for a while. And there's a...
Oh, this time around he dodges that second wind knockback. This is probably what he was waiting for, to make sure he is out of his tab escape.
Sure. And the Wubin Cha now taking more damage from the Force Master, and Hyuk-Yan uses the ice to freeze himself as well. So Hyuk-Yan has to be careful for the next 50 seconds because he's still out of his tab escape.
Yeah, Wubin Cha has, there we go, finally!
Wow, my goodness!
He is out of all of his escapes. He knew that he was waiting for this moment.
Oh my goodness! And this is going to be very good for Hyuk-Yan, very good for Wubin Cha, I'm sorry, but like, this is going to be very opportunistic for Hyuk-Yan with a little bit of help that he has. The Force Master continuing the damage opportunity here. This is going to be, he's barely survived, and Wubin Cha, can he pull this off? Hyuk-Yan freezes himself. Just one hit would do it. Hyuk-Yan freezes. And an aerial for the second aerial. And actually can be. Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, that was such a close game. I don't even know what you're saying. You have to slow down. You have to calm down. You're not saying anything.
These guys are
you're gibberishing.
These guys are keeping me on the edge of life, and
yeah, but that was a very close game. Wubin Cha was playing like immense amount of levels in mental games right now.
Yeah, he was
going into re-knockouts, and then he was backing out just in case Hyuk-Yan uses tab escape for the knockback. So he pulls back, goes back in for another re-knockout, and not using his lightning draw until that one moment where we saw, probably going to show in the replay, where Hyuk-Yan was both out of his tab escape and his backstep escape. That's when Wubin Cha went for that opportunity, went for that opening to do that tons of damage, and I hope they show it. It's going to be very soon. Right now, yes. So right now at this moment, Hyuk-Yan is out of both of his escapes.
Yeah, it's true.
And that was very smart for Wubin Cha to actually wait.
Yes, it's a very new side of the Blade Dance we haven't seen from him before. But I know, Ending, you're the analyst here at the desk. But one thing I would like to say is that this Wubin Cha's unconventional way of not using the lightning draw and this from the typical air combo that we always see from every other Blade Dancer. I mean, it was a tilter for me to see that. Why didn't he use a Blade Dancer? Imagine how much of a tilter it would have been for Hyuk-Yan on the Force Master, just knowing that he was gonna use the lightning draw, but doesn't use it for the 4 times. But like now, I think that was a kind of a mental game that really was played well by Wubin Cha. So well played by this guy. So getting another win for G-Touring. Now they're very ahead in regards to points. So just like Full Swing has to look for a lot of answers coming back with the singles and the future tags to come. They have to get a lot of tags back.
Yeah, right now G-Touring is up 4-1. G-Touring being 4, Full Swing being 1. The next match, set 6 is
set 5. It's set 5 right now. Yeah.
Okay, set 5.
Another single.
Yeah. So now they have to. Hyuk-Yan is coming back again. He wants to redeem himself.
And redeem himself, he has to, because that wasn't a good game for him. He wanted a lot better from himself. Hyuk-Yan is going to be going up against Youngmin Park on the KFM, and G-Touring now is going to be looking to get another point back, which will make them literally run away from this series. And it's going to be a huge win for G-Touring if they can get it. But more importantly for Full Swing, this point will be very crucial for them, just momentum-wise, and also the actual score as well.
Yeah, let's see how Youngmin Park also has to redeem himself, because he lost his singles as well. But Hyuk-Yan just losing his previous set right now. He wants to, bring it back for his team, for himself as well, for the upcoming set 6 tag match. So let's see how well, how composed they both are.
And we're gonna have to see whether they can do it. A different objectives for these two sides, but one of them's gonna get the one and one of them's gonna lose it. And G-Touring versus Full Swing, Game 5 coming your way. Let's get it on. Here we go for the last singles match of this series between Full Swing and G-Touring. We have Hyuk-Yan on the Force Master coming back out again to redeem himself from the Youngmin Park on the KFM, also trying to redeem himself as well from the Game 1 loss that he's faced in this previous singles.
Yep, there is the Ice Burst. The Youngmin Park is frozen as well. Let's see. Hyuk-Yan with that Dino helmet.
Dino helmet always gets you to win, supposedly. We never remember the losses of Dino helmets, but hopefully Youngmin Park can pull something through, because
Rising Dragon forces that backstep escape.
Yeah, and Youngmin Park is now out of his tab escape, so Hyuk-Yan has to look for this opportunity to put in a lot of damage.
Watch out for that.
The aerial onto this, and there's continuing damage coming from Kyungmin Park. Kyungmin Park has to look for more. He's still stunned up.
Oh, Kyungmin Park is being cautious for that tab escape from Hyuk-Yeon, but he hasn't been using it. There we go. Kyungmin Park is making his move, doing enough damage slowly.
Oh, into the aerial, that's going to be good enough damage. And the second re-knock off eventually coming up. Then there you go. Then put the ice damage onto the eventual damage as well. So Hyuk-Yeon getting a good trade off that damage. Another stun coming in, still saving his escape as he did in game 1. So right now, Kyungmin Park is just looking for the opportunity when his opponent is out of his
connects
escape.
that ice burst into the area. Kyungmin Park is making his way. Whew.
Now Hyuk-Yeon is finally out of his escape right now, so this is Kyungmin Park's opportunity. He likes to have this situation where he can get another stun. And there you go. This stun is coming up. This is going to be the full eventual combo. And this is exactly what Kyungmin Park has always relied on when his opponent is out of his escape. He just goes in ham and goes get that full combo to get all of that damage.
Yeah, very solid play by Kyungmin Park. He used, even though there was that moment when Kyungmin Park did get knocked back from Hyuk-Yeon's tab escape, Hyuk-Yeon was not able to connect that chase, which gave Kyungmin Park the opportunity because Hyuk-Yeon was out of all of his escapes.
And we saw Hyuk-Yeon really trying to be consistent with trying to save the escape as much as possible, but at a certain point, when you take enough damage, you know you have to use it right away. And after that, he just knew that he was facing his doom because just one more stun would get into the full damage from Kyungmin Park.
Yeah, so he did have that opportunity here, Hyuk-Yeon, with the re-knock up, and I think they just, they skipped all the important parts.
I mean, but you know, saving the escape was good from Hyuk-Yeon, but you had to avoid the stuns in the first place to avoid as much of the use as possible. But you know, getting stunned so many times, you just have to use it at one point, and Kyungmin Park knew that was going to eventually happen, and takes that crucial moment when he sees out of the escape and puts in all the damage, which eventually gets him another point towards G-Touring. Now, G-Touring is immensely ahead now. The only way for Full Swing to get back in the series is to win the next 2 tag matches, and that's the only way they can win it.
Yep, they are at 1 point right now, Full Swing, and in order to win, they need 6 points, and the next 2 tags are worth a total of 5 points. So if Full Swing wants to win, they have to win out both the tags.
But winning the tag out is a very, very difficult thing, and Full Swing knows that as well as we do. So Full Swing, with the first series of tag, they have to win out this one along with the next tag as well. So here we go for the game 6 is going to be starting very soon between Full Swing and G-Touring. But we're going to see how G-Touring can finish this off right here in game 6, or whether Full Swing is going to keep us the game 7 that we always like to have in the long series tournaments. Yeah,
definitely. We haven't seen a game 7 yet. But anyways, this time around, last tag match between Full Swing and G-Touring, it seemed pretty even up to mid-game, and then G-Touring just started to turn it around at the end. So we'll see how this goes down.
And remember, Youngwon Che's Warlock is going to come appearance again. We have to see, because the game 6 with the tag match between Full Swing and G-Touring will be coming right your way. So let's get the match underway. Let's get it on. Here we are for game 6, the second tag of the series between Full Swing and G-Touring, and it could potentially be the last match for Full Swing if they could not afford to win out this one. So Kyungmin Park on the KFM is the first one out for G-Touring, whereas Byung-Tae Che on the Warlock is the first one out for Full Swing. So gets the familiar out, tries to put the damage in, not getting much yet other than the escape coming out for both sides, but obviously the Byung-Tae Che is going to get his escape back. Oh, actually, my bad. Youngwon Che actually was the first one to come in with the interfere, trying to put in the time distortion to get his escape back. So Byung-Tae Che is saving his time distortion for now. I think he's going to stick through it. Actually uses it now for the 10 seconds that he left out the cooldown of the escape.
Yep, Kyungmin Park is playing very aggressive right now. He did get rid of Byung-Tae Che's escape first, but now the other way around, Kyungmin Park is out of his escape now, whereas Byung-Tae Che still has it back after using that time distortion. So we'll see how this plays out.
And Youngwon Che already used the interfere to use the time distortion to give Kyungmin Park's escape back, so he can't do it again for the time being. So Kyungmin Park has to somehow hold on for the next 50 seconds.
Triple kick lands! He is stunned right now.
Stun is coming up, and it's going to be a chance.
The knockdown lands as well.
And they're finally using the escape from Byung-Tae Che. This is his chance for Kyungmin Park. He likes to do this when he's stunned up. The defensive interfere has to be eventual. And it's going to be Gyeongmin Park starts, but actually gets Phantom gripped from the interfere coming in. Dongjin Park on the Blade Dancer now is making an appearance back on the stage.
Yeah, Byung-tae was
the lightning draw.
Gyeongmin Park is still staying out there.
He's stunned and knocked down, and so the lightning draw putting to good effect. Now Gyeongmin Park is out. Now the tag point having to be used. Young-chae is out with the Sanctum being split out on the floor. Now Hyuk-An is using Hyuk-An is back out on the field with the tag point being used by Full Swing once again. So 2 points having been used early by Full Swing.
Yep, there we go. Hyuk-An and Young-chae going at it. Even though Young-chae does have his Sanctum down, he gets knocked back.
So Young-chae has all of his escapes available along with Hyuk-An as well. So the Force Master versus the Warlock is what we're looking at here. So the Familiar is out. The cooldown will be running shortly and it will be summoned back down onto the ground, but Hyuk-An, he has to look for this opportunity. The Force Familiar trying to be used at the last moment.
Right now.
The chains
doing
will
a lot
be
of damage on
the Warlock, and the Hyuk-An takes a lot of damage off of that Warlock damage.
Yep, Hyuk-An is still trying to stay out there, doing Meteor. He's doing
stun,
work, and that lightning draw.
He's going to pull himself back before he takes the full extent of that damage. Now Hyuk-An, with the lack of health that he has, he's trying to heal back some of it. Now putting it into the aerial. Hyuk-An is onto the area. The Familiar is trying to go up to Young-chae, still standing still in that spot. Time Distortion coming in, trying to put the Young-chae back onto the field, but Hyuk-An still has his escape just on cooldown right now. Gyeongmin Park, this is the opportunity to go in on that full damage if he can.
Yeah, overall right now, by a little bit, G-Touring does have that advantage with that tag and interfere
Gyeongmin Park goes to the aerial, and there's going to be a chance for Gyeongmin Park to put some damage onto him. Now Dongjin Park is going to be forced to tag out. So Dongjin Park coming in, they already used 3 tag points, whereas G-Touring only used 2 so far. So this is a little bit of resource advantage over to G-Touring so far. So Dongjin Park on the Blade Dancer has to make something work against the KFM of Gyeongmin Park.
Yep, G-Touring is up 1 tag point. They are also up 1 interfere point as well. So overall, the resource-wise, G-Touring is up. The health bars aren't too much of a difference right now. So there's still 6 minutes left.
Interfere coming in, trying to make something work. The Time Distortion coming in, trying to make something happen. The Warlock does get into the air, into the chains, and Dongjin Park takes a little bit of damage off of that from the Warlock. And Dongjin Park takes additional amount of damage from Gyeongmin Park as well, and puts him into the area, and that's going to be a start of the combo coming up, and it's going to be good enough for damage onto him. Now he's going to be forced to tag out onto Byung-tae coming on the Warlock, so a lot of tag points have to be forcibly used now from the side of Full Swing.
Yeah, now we slowly see, starting to see that grayed out number right now. Dongjun has that 0 tag point right there, so you know, you don't want to waste it.
That lightning draw didn't connect as much as they wanted, but Gyeongmin Park on the K-Fan is going to be going up into the air. So Byung-tae is going to be looking for this opportunity, but not taking too much damage now. It's going to be tagged out onto Woo-bin Cha. Woo-bin Cha on the Blade Dancer trying to make something happen from here. The defensive interfere coming in from Young-chae trying to make some Time Distortion to good effect. Actually, the Sanctum actually coming instead of the Time Distortion.
Yeah, but all of a sudden, G-Touring has used up their tag points immensely, so they have 3 zeros on their board, whereas you know, Full Swing, even though Dongjun has 2 zeros, no interfere points, no tag points, their teammates still have enough tag and interfere points to help them out.
And that's going to be in the area, although Woo-bin Cha is trying to does something on the Blade Dancer, but the Warlock doing a good job of trying to counter that damage and trying to put some damage onto him as well. So now, Byung-tae out of his escape, he's going to have to look for something. Actually going to be tagging out just in time before to negate most of that damage. And Young-chae is back on the Warlock trying to do something with that. Familiar is out on both sides, but Byung-tae's Familiar will be out on cooldown very momentarily.
Yeah, this time around, Byung-tae tried to use that ult, but it didn't land, and Young-chae. Oh, that was the ult!
My goodness.
Oh my god! Hyuk-An's Force Master ult just landed on Young-chae and knocked him out!
And it happened in an instant that we really just completely missed that incomplete animation.
I saw it! I called it!
You called it out, but Young-chae dies in an instant, but it's going to be the other way around. Now Byung-tae is going to be the one out. Woo-bin Cha knocks him out from the Blade Dancer. Solo kills him, and there's going to be a good chance for G-Touring to bring that momentum back. Now they're both 1 man behind. Young-chae and Byung-tae, both Warlocks seemingly the ones to be knocked out. They died with 1 tag point. So with the 1 tag points they had on each team, now they have 1 less because Hyuk-An and Woo-bin Cha currently out on the field. They're the only one with the tag point available, and Dongjin Park and Gyeongmin Park, if they are to come out onto the field off the tag, they won't have any tag points to work with.
Yeah, Byung-tae dying with one of each point. That's really bad.
And he connects onto the tag as well, so the tag in takes more of that lightning draw. I mean, the Blade Dancer ultimate, but Dongjin Park, that was not the best. Obviously, he had to tag in there, but this is going to be the big game changer right here. The Wubin-Cha putting that ultimate to good use, putting damage, decent amount of damage onto the two players.
Dongjin Park surprisingly still alive with that slimmer of health right now. Trying to stay alive, however, it is. Oh my god, now he uses his ult!
But misses most of it, and now Wubin-Cha is an extreme happy advantage that he really wants. The lightning draw doesn't connect, but Wubin-Cha is going to be looking to make some plays happen because he needs just one more hit. Just one series of combo would do it. The interfere trying to come in. The tag actually comes in from Kyungmin Park. Kyungmin Park trying to do the one that is finishing, but the lightning draw actually connects a little bit of that. The stun does come out, and that's going to be enough to finish him out. And Kyungmin Park has one more opponent that he has to beat out before G Touring is clinched as the #1 seed in the group. But that's a lot of healing. A lot of healing onto Hyukki-an.
Don't hit him in there.
Oh my goodness, Hyukki-an doing the most use out of that healing effect of the ice, and Hyukki-an is near back to full health.
Yeah, but Kyungmin Park and Hyukki-an 1v1 right now.
Oh yeah.
Kyungmin Park is going at it right now. Hyukki-an still does have his tab escape. Kyungmin Park is gonna get it back now, so they are basically on even field right now.
Now he uses it. Now Hyukki-an doesn't have his escape available, so he does get stunned one more time. The interfere would likely to come in, and that's gonna be the end of the game.
Oh no, they're both out of their tab escape right now. 1 CC, there we go.
It's definitely the fight of staying alive.
Oh no, not looking good. Kyungmin Park is gonna take full damage for not having his escape. This is not looking good for Kyungmin Park right now.
The meteor, the second knockup eventually coming along. That's gonna be more damage to Kyungmin Park. Will that be enough damage to finish him off? It's not quite enough. And that's gonna be another stun onto the king. And this is gonna be might be enough to finish him off instantly. And that's gonna be Kyungmin Park's Kung Fu. Just finishing off.
Oh wow, very well played by. I'm gonna say both teams.
Very good.
In the beginning, G Touring was definitely going up ahead, having the advantage. However, Full Swing was coming back serious, literally just giving them full swings and making it even, making super plays on both sides, even until the last second. However, Full Swing only having Hyukki-an left, and G Touring has 2 players left. Obviously,
a lot of pressure.
Just look at the numbers. G Touring did have the advantage in the late games, and G Touring does take the victory.
Well, all the credits go out to Full Swing as well. You know, they didn't do as well in the singles, obviously, but in the tag, even in the first tag of the series, they did spectacularly well. It was very even until the end. But even in this tag, this time around, they did spectacularly well. We thought it couldn't really go either way. So props to these guys.
That ult right
really
now.
Well.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I missed earlier.
Right now with Hyukki-an's knocking Youngwon Chae out first. So even here, like mid-game, 6 minutes has passed, and they have the advantage right now.
Definitely, and we have to say the Full Swing was definitely ahead at this moment, but I think we're going to see this eventually. Wubin-Cha putting the ultimate right here, putting damage onto Dongjin Park, and also Hyukki-an as well. So that's kind of what really changed the game. That Kung Fu master with Kyungmin Park coming out into the field and really finishing these guys off. So good job of Wubin-Cha to really get that game clincher and game changing play that with the ultimate that really just changed everything for these guys.
All of their moves, all of their plays today on both Full Swing and G Touring was well played. There were amazing ultimate connections.
It's true.
And I love it when ultimates actually connect. Rather than missing out, you know?
It's a beautiful thing to see, and G Touring really showed a stronger performance of themselves compared to what we've seen from Season 1 and Season 2, but really good to see from these guys, and really just good to see a new addition to the team as well, doing it really well for the team.
Yeah, and next, since we are done for today, next week, next Saturday, we're going to have all the teams that lost. So excluding GFAM and G Touring, every other team will have the losers match, and look at the results today, the right side.
Hey, if you ever get a chance to ask your the tournament organizer to put your team on a certain position, ask them to put you on the right spot because that will get you a win. So JJJ, Triple J did not get a win this time around. They will be the losers out, but Full Swing getting the win out, did not have to win against the G Touring side. G Touring did a fantastic job today and just showing every corner of amazement of what they were supposed to do, but this is going to be the next schedule for next week. This is going to be the final stage of the Challenger stage.
Yeah, so as you see on screen, Superman versus No Name, I almost said Nomad, but No Name, and then the second match will be Triple J versus Oh Yeah, and the winners of these two, the first match and the second match, you see Group A, Group B losers match, and they will be playing Chobo and Full Swing to secure that second seed for the champion stage.
And you see those are the number 2 seeds from each group. From Group A, Chobo and Full Swing from Group B, they were the number 2 seeds. And they'll be waiting, happily waiting for the losers match winners to come, and they will be facing them off to eventually face off the number 1 seed to finalize their spot in the champion stage as well. So it was a very good match for us today. I think the G-Touring was mostly a surprise for us, although they always been playing well. They played spectacularly well, and we just didn't know what to expect with Youngwon Che's addition to the team, but it seems like he's very gelling in very well.
Yeah, he is, definitely. And G-Touring's game today was amazing. I'm gonna just go rewatch that today.
It's worth watching. If you missed that episode, just go ahead and watch that. G-Touring played a fantastic job, and they're gonna be joining us for next week's series. We're gonna be joining back on 1300 Korean Standard Time of next Saturday, and that will be the last day of the challenge stage. So join us then. We'll see you then.